smoked, I turned her to a stoner. Smoking now. Young nigga, but I'm ready. Oh, foreign girls call me sexy. And white girls give me Becky. But first I gotta roll this joint, baby. Hold up. Hold up. We them boys. Hold up. We them boys. Hold up. We making noise. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. We them boys. Hold up. We them boys. Hold up. We making noise. Hold up. Hold up. We them boys.
Oh my gosh, that was amazing.
Hold up. You drive me crazy. Number one, bitch, you can't replace me. Leader Claudia's always be trying to chase me. You got an ass so fat, let's make a baby. Damn, I'm smoking weed in my Mercedes. Hold up, these niggas broke, these niggas lazy. Man, they money slim, they acting shady. I'm in my brand new car, who wanna race? Oh, bitch, you ain't call my phone, so why you showing up? Never. I'm taking them shots on my niggas, they loaded up. Man, on the low, all these hoes be acting so material. Hold up, man, did you see her interior? Hold up, we them boys. Hold up, we them boys. Hold up, we making noise. Hold up. Hold up. We them boys. Hold up, we them boys. Hold up. We making noise. Hold up. We them boys.
Him chop on the beat.
I can't spell sober. I'm a smoker. Afraid I would drink a tater, walk Molly water. Sober, my bitches say sober. Damn, I hate being sober. I hate being sober. Damn, I hate being sober. I'm a smoker, afraid I will drink a tater, walk Molly water, but we can't spell sober. Ball a roller, when we roll up, bitches be on us, so the hoes that love smoking and love drinking and not sober for no reason, bitch, we can't spell sober. Y'all know us, we smoke sober. Watch me roll up, 'cause I can't spell sober. On my tour bus, we get dumb high. Use the floor, but Fredo got a hangover. He told Nicole, bro, last night he was shoot shit. I'm like, oh, dawg. Receipt rollin', say them got hoes on my lease. Cheese sauce and ball out behind ride Rarries. My bitches love drinking, some love smoking. Let my alcoholic bitch hit the door, she start choking. Call up D-Money, now we throw money. All these bitches off the shits, they walk around like zombies. Call up D-Money, now we throw money. All these bitches off the shits, walking around like zombies. Damn, I hate being sober. I'm a smoker, afraid I will drink a tater, walk Molly water, but we can't spell sober. Ball a roller, when we roll up, bitches be on us, so the hoes that love smoking and love drinking and not sober for no reason, bitch, we can't spell sober. Y'all know us, we smoke sober. Watch me roll up, 'cause I can't spell
We got 100 pounds of that shit. Yeah. My stash house with them bricks. Yeah. My pockets filled with them stacks. My bitch be gone for fat. She a hot tamale when she pop a molly. It's time to party, we party hard. Drink and smoke it, Drink, smoking, we out for shit. I came in back of that rose. Nigga, I ain't steading them hoes. I trick a bitch, suck dick, trick, but you spin on her. We still on clothes. Too young for me, she wants Sosa. Shoot us in the Range Rover. That's GBE when them 223s get the flying bitches. Silver. See my ring chain and my Rolex when I'm flexing. Bitch, I got to get mine, nigga, get a line, I check 'em. See the gangsta shit's done to perfection. Nigga better believe me, I make it look easy.
Damn, I hate being sober. I'm a smoker, afraid of a drink, a 10 or one Molly water. But we can't spell sober. Roll up. When we roll up, bitches be on us on a whole that love smoking and love drinking and top sober. For no reason, bitch, we can't spell sober. Y'all know us, we smoke sober. Watch me roll up, 'cause I can't spell sober.
My weed so strong, my G so long. Roll so many joints, soon I might need a lung. Spend so many grands that I might need some bands. That's your bitch, why she acting like she need a man? I'm faded. Talking meals cause I made it. Talking pounds cause I smoked it. Talking game cause I played it. I'm wasted. Rose, that's my favorite. OG Kush, you can taste it. Buying crisp by the cases. I hate being sober. Don't smell no more smoke. And me and my niggas gon' roll up. Believe they gon' fire on you. You think you can roll up. You smoke by the ounce. Oh, bitch, I smoke by the pound. Cause
Damn, I hate being sober. I'm a smoker, afraid of a drink, a 10 or one Molly water. But we can't
so
spell
what up, nigga?
sober.
What up, afraid of?
When we roll up, bitches be on us on a whole that love smoking and love drinking and top sober. For no reason, bitch, we can't spell sober. Y'all know us, we smoke sober. Watch me roll up, 'cause I can't spell sober.
Let's talk about Noah. Last year, he had a fast food delivery job.
Good morning, my people. Welcome to my station. Welcome to my channel. This is Maddox Live Stock Market, Black Business Wall Street channel. I appreciate all the comments that I get, so thank you for that. Shout out to all you all who's giving me comments, trying to network. I feel like network is our net worth. So I'm always looking to network with people. So if you feel that you can promote my channel, I appreciate that. So thank you on that. Today we're just gonna jump over the stock market.
Gotta keep that heat on the seat.
I mean, it's kind of crazy now with the stock market, what's going on. As you see, I want to say it's on the seesaw effect. It was down, it was up, so now it's up at this moment. So I'm not too sure how we're gonna open up. As of now, it's just open $7 above market, so it's not a high open. We have 2 minutes before the market. I just want to touch on some news here before the market opens, which I think is kind of important. Intel is investing in Chinese chip companies. So I guess with my opinion, I had stock in Intel, I had stock in TSM, Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, Tango Sierra Mike. I sold those. I wasn't making a profit with those, so I actually sold it. But the headline news is, and see, this is why I showed Microsoft. Let me try to get this in within 30 seconds or less. I showed Microsoft because Microsoft basically quit effing with Intel and started messing with TSM. So now that Microsoft is no longer, in partnerships with Microsoft. Microsoft went to TSM. So now Intel is like, if you can't beat them, join them. So I feel like Intel is trying to join them to bring their stock up. Like, I didn't make a profit off Intel, I didn't make a profit off TSM, and I didn't make a profit off Microsoft. If I made a profit, it was less than 5% profit, which was not a lot on my return for my investment that I was looking for. So I just think this is kind of big in the news today. Another thing that I was looking at, Tesla is trying to move to Texas. I'm not for sure how this is going to affect the stocks or whatever, but to see this is like, to me, headliner news. And I think Musk needs to be careful dealing with liability from his workers, and if they feel that they are being pressed to work in this pandemic, Tesla or Musk can face a huge class action lawsuit dealing with unemployment work issues. And so, I mean, I love his concept of what he's trying to do. I have nothing bad to say about Elon Musk, but just be careful on trying to force your workers back to work, especially when you have the federal government and other people in power telling people it's not time to return back to work. So just be mindful of that. So the market has opened as of now, so let's see what's going on with this market. As of now, I'm down one account, I'm up, so to me I'm down total. Down $8 as the market open. Let's look at let's take a peek at my account here. Let's see what's going on. So as you recall, yesterday I sold a lot of things that was in my first account. So I'm actually down to, I guess, 8 entities in one account. I think I had like 15 in this account, so I sold a bunch of my entities. GFL is a new IPO that just recently dropped and it's up. KC is a new IPO that just recently dropped. It's up 11 cents. I'm not for sure. MOGA is not a recent stock. This stock has to do with aerospace and things of that nature, but I'm not making a profit off it. I mean, I recently purchased this, I want to say Friday, so I really can't sell it just yet. Qualcomm is up. I've been having Qualcomm for a minute, but it's a small growth. Okay, so Qualcomm is QCOM, Quebec Charlie Oscar Mike. Smile Direct, which is a new IPO, Sierra Delta Charlie. Excuse me. No corona. I'm having my breakfast. Caffeine and Mary. So Smile Direct is up 28 cents. Overall, I'm on a 29% profit with Smile Direct. Again, this is a new IPO. SDGR is down $4 already this morning. Wow. SPG is down. VIAC, which is CBS Falcom, is down as well, 37 cents. SPG. So SDGR, I'm not for sure if it's going to stay down. It had a seesaw effect yesterday, so I'm not for sure. AJRD, Alpha, Juliet, Roger, Delta. This is something dealing with aerospace rockets, so it's not a new IPO. I just purchased that because I wanted to invest in that sector. So ALDX, I was watching this yesterday on the high moves from my filter yesterday from the Fidelity Active Pro. So I selected Alpha Lima Delta X-Ray. And I bought 2 shares of that yesterday at $3. So I'm not for sure how it's going to do, but I was down yesterday. It had to mature to the actual price that I purchased it at. So thus far, I'm up today. CBAY, Charlie Bravo Alpha Yankee. I purchased that yesterday as well. It was like one of the top movers that was on the filter yesterday. It's I purchased it at a higher price, so as of today, I'm gonna see if these two is going to start maturing. So I'm not for sure. CEQP is down. I hope it goes up today. DraftKings, DKNG, Delta Kilo November Golf is up $1. So I'm up a 43% total profit with this one. Foot Locker is down today. So I'm not for sure how I'm gonna fucking move with Foot Locker. Foot Locker is not gonna eat my fucking money. It's not, I'm not for sure. Kaiser Aluminum Company. I explained why I was holding on to this. It has something to do with the tariffs with Donald Trump and China. Okay, so it's down 5 cents. Las Vegas Sand is down. I might, if I can sell it today, I'm selling it. NET is a new IPO that just recently dropped. It's down 60 cents. I'm up 12% total profit on this. So NVMI is up. ONEM is up as well. That's a new IPO. Oscar November, Echo Mike. SFM Sprout Farmers Market is up as well.
It's the motherfucking world. You know I'm down with the niggas down for me. I got 2 words for
I'm
you,
not
love and
selling
loyalty.
this.
It was me and my nigga tripping on a half a beat. Then we used to hit a wall and buy everything we see. Me and my down there nigga.
So now I need to go find something to balance out my portfolio here in the top. So let's go look at the watch list.
My nigga, so when I see you out, I'm like, hey, my nigga. Act right by the case with my niggas. Drink the act right and get straight with my niggas. Me and my nigga riding dirty, trying to chase them figures. Who got it, yo? Who got it, yo? Don't matter. My nigga.
For my motherfucking nigga. Most likely I'ma die with my finger on the trigger. I be grinding that side out there with my niggas. And I ain't going in, it's on with my nigga. My nigga, my nigga. My nigga, my nigga. YG, my nigga. My nigga, my nigga. Rich homie, my nigga. My nigga, my nigga. My nigga, my nigga. My nigga got cake, my nigga got weight. My nigga front of me, he the reason I'm straight. My nigga got a house, my nigga got a lake. My nigga, we eat, my nigga get a plate. And I'm still here and listen, my nigga, my nigga. Running off a nigga shit, my nigga, my nigga. My nigga, bitch, my nigga, my nigga. If a nigga talk shit, then he ain't my nigga, my nigga, my nigga. YG, my nigga. And I ain't going in, they tryna leave my niggas.
I don't know, I might have to add more money to this account. I'm not for sure.
My niggas, I need a set of wings cause I'm too fly, nigga. And I'm all about my business.
Okay, so what I just purchased yesterday when I was talking about I did research on gold and so this is an ETF. And I think I'm gonna stick with this ETF long term because this ETF consists of I can show you the basket. And again, Fidelity is a phenomenal tool. And if you decide to download Fidelity, please just like if you can refer my channel or just like hit me in the comments and let me know that you download Fidelity on this. And you know, I promise you, it's very easy to navigate. It's a lot of research here. Here's the basket that it holds. I purchased Nut, which is up. I purchased gold, which is up. But I sold Nut, I sold gold. It is something else. This basket holds like 72, so even if I click the full basket, I don't think you can see the full basket here to the right page over here. them thick, beautiful basketball weights. Yeah, you can't see it, so I mean it's 3 pages of symbols that they hold in their baskets, and a lot of them are large companies, medium-sized companies. So I rather invest in that than investing in them personally. But
So tell me you're that somebody, girl. I fuck who I want and fuck who I don't. Got that A1 credit, that's that filet mignon. She say I
I
never
don't want to get so zoned out that I don't catch these people. I cannot play Future and Drake together. Okay, so if you look at their performance, it'll show you right here. Uh, Everything is in the green. So I mean, you can do the math here. So that's all I can say about this sector. So I'd rather invest in this sector. All of the information is over here that you need to see. But me, this is all I really need to see right here. And that, the net access and things of that nature. Other than that, I'm not concerned about that. The bid size, so I can buy 16 shares of this, and my contract is basically full with 16 shares. It asks for a bid size of 4, but I'm purchasing them one at a time, I guess. Unless I add some more money in here and go back and purchase more like that. But I should have some more money to drop tomorrow, so I don't think I want to add more money from my bank account when I'm going to have money to be deposited tomorrow. Probably just wait. Patience is a virtue.
I come to my senses and I would say these whole names, but then I would be snitching and these haters try to knock me, but they can't knock me off the hinges.
Cushion alcohol.
Yeah,
I got some damn bitches I can call.
As you see, everything basically to some people is sale. So it looks like everything is on sale. So let's go to the Fidelity Active Pro and let's see what's going on.
I could give a fuck by no hate as long as my bitch love me. My bitch love me. My bitch love me. Yeah, I could give a fuck, bro. I lost a few good bitches, met some more bad bitches, and I be schooling them niggas. Post for your class picture, and I kiss my ass if you hate. I'm getting ass, so I'm skating. Yeah, I lost a few good bitches, met some more bad bitches, and I be schooling them niggas. Post for your class picture, and I kiss my ass if you hate. I'm getting ass, so I'm skating.
So what I'm doing is researching the where you see filters. I'm researching Sierra India Foxtrot. So it's up $2.88. The highest it's been in the past. Is this a good idea?
My bitch love me. My bitch love me. I could give a fuck by no hate as long as my
It's not a
bitch
good
love me.
idea. So the highest it has been within the past year is $5.62. So right now it's at $5.08. It opened up at $3.54. So I mean the equity summary scores are 1.2, so it's very bullish.
Listen to this track, bitch.
Oh, their earnings came.
Yeah. Usually I'd be smoking
Let's
weed
take a
on the
look
intro,
at
but I'm
this.
drinking water. This cabin fever.
So this tells us why SIF is soaring.
And I'm not gonna tell you again. Stay the hell away from my woman. Taylor gang niggas think you can do whatever you want. I caught me one for my old girl. You think she my newest bitch, she my old girl. Khalifa, a younger nigga who handle his. Hoes get in my car, ask what the channel is. Ball shit, look that up, my nigga. I handle biz. On fire, like a candle is. Niggas be dressed dressing off the mannequin. And I get fresh like where them cameras is. Better yet,
aerospace and
sandwiches. Bad
defense.
bitch, Spanish friends. Could have been the president. Rather be the man instead. Yeah. Now when I get paid, my checks be looking like phone numbers. Now when I get paid, my checks be looking like phone numbers. I'm talking millions, nigga. I'm talking millions. I'm talking millions, nigga. I'm talking millions. Time is money, so I went and bought a Rolex. Time is money, so I went and bought a Rolex. I'm talking millions, nigga. I'm talking millions. I'm talking millions, nigga. I'm talking millions.
I'm in the hood off in something that's corner surfing. Floating on water, my trunk is waving. I'm corner surfing. Blowing faces, I'm shitting on them diamond invested. Time is money, peep the wrist, bitch, my time is invested. I'm still a king and I'm thugged out. Any block in the club, I flood it out. I ain't the one for competition, I'ma blow it out. I'm going hard, I don't ever plan on going out. I get money, probably something you don't know about. I stunned hard, you was sweating, I was showing out. They tell me get them, I got them, and I'ma throw them out. And backdooring these foes that I was rolling out. While I'm in this machine, convert the top, tell them that the sky's the limit. With a foreign freak, she got her face in my lap so deep, you would think she was hiding it.
Now when I get paid, my checks be looking like phone numbers. Now when I get paid, my checks be looking like phone numbers. I'm talking millions, nigga. I'm talking millions. I'm talking millions, nigga. I'm talking millions. Time is money, so I went and bought a Rolex. Time is money, so I went and bought a Rolex. I'm talking millions, nigga. I'm talking millions. I'm talking millions, nigga. I'm talking millions.
Shrimp steak, liquor, and pasta. Real shit, boy. These niggas imposters. They deserve an Oscar. Kevin Costner. Oh my gosh, sure. I got this and that and everything I want, like I got a hostage. Yeah, counting 7 digits. No wonder why the money calling. Got your bitch panties, Niagara falling. Dollars come like I'm fucking the bank. I told them I could, they told me I can't. They want me to trip when I dunk in the paint. I'm popping champagne and I'm puffing on dang. Shining hard. Boy, these niggas gotta see me. My dick hard. Your bitch is easy.
Now when I get paid, my checks be looking like phone numbers. Now when I get paid, my checks be looking like phone numbers. I'm talking millions, nigga. I'm talking millions. I'm talking millions, nigga. I'm talking millions. Time is money, so I went and bought a Rolex. Time is money, so I went and bought a Rolex. I'm talking millions, nigga. I'm talking millions. I'm talking millions, nigga. I'm talking millions.
Okay, so let's take a look at
Lakewood means rewind, a gunshot means forward. You requested it, so we
UNFI, United Natural Foods Inc., Uniform November, Foxtrot, India. I kind of like this one.
Turn it all up. Yeah. Look, I got enemies, got a lot of enemies, got a lot of people trying to drain me of my energy. They're trying to take away from a nigga. Fucking with the kid and pray for your nigga. I got girls in real life trying to fuck up my day.
Posted in front of the trap, selling dope till the sun come down. Take a fuck nigga right off the map. When I hit him with this whole 100 round. Young jock in the club with my Glock. You wanna play it, then this bitch going down. We ain't hesitating, bullies get the blazing. I'ma lay him down like he in a lounge. Walk him down.
I don't know. I just paid attention to the X size. I'm not with that. But this is an actually good stock if you want to look at it. Look, I got SFM. I don't need this. So I was just trying to let you see the the synopsis of this, and I mean it shot up $5 today already, but I'm not playing with that.
Selling dope till the sun come down. Take a fuck nigga right off the map, when I hit him with this whole 100 round.
Here's the company profile, so you can just take the time and just read the company profile.
We ain't hesitating, bullies get the blazing. I'ma lay him down like he in a lounge. Walk him down, 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 walk him down. Nigga, I was posted on the corner where the J's at. Roll up in the 4x4, pull up at the corner. And I got red in my drink when I poured soda. I remember praying that the feds never take the Motorola. Chopper got the chopper, make him do a backflip. Pay my dog a down and walk him down, he need the racks, bitch. I've been drinking, I've been taking all this codeine to the face. Got a lot of M's in the safe. Caught a murder, then I beat the case. I was just about to do the race. Posted in front of the tribe, selling dope till the sun come down. Take a fuck nigga right off the map, when I hit him with this whole 100 round. Young jock in the club with my Glock. You wanna play it, then this bitch going down. We ain't hesitating, bullies get the blazing. I'ma lay him down like he in a lounge. Walk him down, 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 walk him down.
For years, you've weathered the ups and downs of life, and we've been here for you at CubeSmart
Company
with clean and convenient self-storage,
ARPO
a
that you
friendly
see here
smile,
on
and a
the
shoulder to
filter.
lean on. Today, we're still here with that
shortly
same care for
ago.
you and your
But
things. And now, our
ARPO, which is up
contact-free
37
rentals
cents,
help
the stock is
protect the
actually
communities we're a
99
part
cents a
of.
share. I
So
don't
if you
really
need us now or in the
purchase stocks
future,
like
we'll
this.
be here.
This is under
Because what you're
healthcare,
storing matters,
pharmaceuticals,
and it
and it
matters where you
deals
store
with
it. Lock in your
diabetes
deal on a
and
contact-free
treating and
rental at
testing
CubeSmart.com
of
today.
diabetes or bowel disease. So that's what that's for.
Yeah, chopstick came with a large low man. Extra clip in it, nigga. I ain't got no aim. Ball main pocket feel fresh, romaine. And I stay with the cash like an exo chain. 5,500, nigga, that's your rain. When I go to the club, make it storm hurricane. Nigga pull up, think he G.I. Joe, man. 762, turn him G.I. Jane. Said Rico and Boo, they be knee high, man. Now when I look down, you know I can't see my aim. Man, she after some racks, gave her 3 times
Oh,
10.
hell
Right in
no.
the condo, put her in the
Let me
bed.
show y'all
Like
this
all of that,
one.
don't wanna see her again. I honestly on the
FULC.
better things, that's a free. These niggas
You
goofies
right.
like peons, man. King of my city like Leon, man. Hell of these
You
niggas
right.
by Eon, man. She let me
Let
touch
me
with
show
the
you
Eon,
this.
man. So you know that's a must like Elon, man. They was saying I was spinning, you was saying I'm counting up green like
I mean, some people may be interested in this, but this is not my forte. The PE is not available, but the act size is 215 for $20. That's absurd to me. I'm not doing it.
In the road truck, girl, yeah, you can be on the bus. You can get what you want. Out the mall, no need to hold me up. Riggedy racks, that's all in my
And if you're just tuning in to my channel, what I'm doing is on Fidelity Active Trader Pro. I'm looking at the filter and things that I have it set to the top percentage for gainers for today, and I'm just researching all of the top gainers I see and what's going on, why is it moving, what's making it move, and if I see that is a good investment, I invest from here as well. So I'm also going to be watching the news today to actually see if we have any new IPOs dropping. And if you all can find any new IPOs, please just, new symbols or anything, just drop them down in the comments and share. Like, we're all in this shit together, you know. That's just my motto. I'm not a financial advisor, so I'm not here to give you financial counseling. I am a business consultant, but I'm not here to do that as well. I'm just letting you know that, you really don't have to have a broker's degree to do this. You don't really have to have or be the smartest person in the world or be the brightest bug in the bunch. You know, it just takes a little common sense. It takes strategic. It takes practice. It takes dedication, and it really takes you controlling your fate. And again, don't let anyone drive your crazy bus but you when it comes to making your money, because it can be stressful. Like right now, I've been doing this for almost 2 months, and I feel like I really don't get until I'll wait till after 1 o'clock to see where the market is, and then I have a clear understanding, because right now everybody is selling, everybody is buying, so you don't have a clear concept of what's really going on. So I'm like a panther. I just sit back, watch, see what's going on, and then I make my move, because again, I'm not a conglomerate thinker, and when there's smoke, there's fire, and I'm not walking in no smoke blind. Like, me personally, I'm the type of person, I'm going to ask you a question I already know the answer to. Trust me, because that's just how I am.
Nike crossbody got a piece in it. Got to dance, but it's really on some street shit. I'ma show you how to get it. It go right foot up, left foot slide, left foot up, right foot slide. Basically, I'm saying either way, we bout to slide. Hey, can't let this one slide. Hey. Don't you wanna dance with me? No, I could dance like
I better make this money with me.
Son, I could get you the passion.
Drake, quit spinning my goddamn video.
Baby, don't you wanna dance with me? No, I could dance like Michael Jackson. I could get you satisfaction. And you know we out here every day with it. I'ma show you how to get it. It go right foot up, left foot slide, left foot up, right foot slide. Basically, I'm saying either way, we bout to slide. Hey, can't let this one slide. Hey. 2,000 shorties wanna tie the knot, hey, yeah. 200 shooters on my brother's block, oh, yeah. Pedal off the roads like I love it, not, maybe not. I don't know what's wrong with me, I can't stop, oh, yeah. Won't stop, oh, yeah, never stop. Got so many ops, I be mistaken ops for other ops. Got so many people that I love out of trouble spots. Other than the family, I got it's either you or me. That's just how I think, it's either you or me. This life got too deep for you, baby. 2 or 3 of us about to creep where they stayin'. Black leather glove, no sequins. Buckles on the jacket, it's elite shit. Nike crossbody got a piece in it. Gotta dance, but it's really on some street shit. I'ma show you how to get it. It go right foot up, left foot slide, left foot up, right foot slide. Basically, I'm saying either way, we bout to slide. Hey, can't let this one slide. Hey. 2C slide, then I hit it double time, then I hit a spin, cause we spun that block a couple times. If it's not the right time, it'll always be another time. I'm not even tripping, we'll just see him in the summertime, whoa, yeah. Can't describe the pressure I be putting on myself, yeah. Really, I just can't afford to lose nobody else, yeah. If they moving shaky, we just do the shit ourselves, well. If I'm moving shaky, Chelsea do the shit himself, yeah. Solo niggas on a YOLO for real. Heard a lot about you, but we don't know for real. Next time, guarantee the truth will get revealed. Black leather glove, no sequins. Yeah, buckles on the jacket, it's elite shit. Nike crossbody got a piece in it. Gotta dance, but it's really on some street shit. I'ma show you how. It go right foot up, left foot slide, left foot up, right foot slide. Basically, I'm saying either way, we bout to slide. Hey, can't let this one slide. Hey. Don't you wanna dance with me? No, I could dance like Michael Jackson. I could get you the passion. It's a thriller in a track. where we from? Baby, don't you wanna dance with me? No, I could dance like Michael Jackson. I could give you satisfaction. And you know we out here every day with it. I'ma show you how to get it. It go right foot up, left foot slide, left foot up, right foot slide. Basically, I'm saying either way, we about to slide. Young boy came back like they left him for dead. Cool and rollin', I so sure they give me it. Young boy is a rollin', yes sir. Sure they don't love me, you know I'ma treat her bad. I'm real right, hold your six tight, get your click knock with this cash. These niggas with me, folk ain't try, they bust your ass. But so, nigga, what is hitting like it's a stick fight. We gon' bust until you smash. You want attention, then young boy get your clap back. Rollin' off them pills, it's gon' go down, push your hat back. My niggas know they let it off, they better clap back. Up in Cali with 2 gas, I need 3 more, see what the straps at. I need a pen, I won't go under, I be leaning to the morning. Face a dome, won't get some slip and creep up on them. I got all this money, don't mean nothing, it ain't no question. I'ma dump it, so think twice before you dream of taking something. He hit the kiss switch when he turned up on the meds. He lose his mind and he put 5 on top of your head. On them sands, you catch him walking like you did. He don't give a fuck if it's his bloody zippin', yeah. Young boy came back like they left him for dead. I got no I can't say fixin' this every time. Cool and rollin', I so sure they give me it. Young boy is a rollin', yes sir. Flexin' bad, 100 grand cash in my pants make me bust your ass. All I do is hand it to my man. Blow that glizzy bitch, nigga. Told the green flag, tryna be down ass nigga. Wanna be on board, old clown ass nigga. Fuck that Trey Fisher. Sure don't wanna top me, slide me down, yeah, nigga. Just like his brothers, I'ma leave that nigga dead, dead, dead. Terminate you bitches, hit your block and leave it red. Young boy came back like they left him for dead. I got no I can't say fixin' this every time. Cool and rollin', I so sure they give me it. Young boy is a rollin', yes sir. Young boy came back like they left him for dead. I got no I can't say fixin' this every time. Cool and rollin', I so sure they give me it. Young boy is a rollin', yes sir.
Hey, bitch, good looking for it.
That's made me believe it. That's made me believe it. Believe you won't deceive me. That's made me believe it. That's made me believe it. That's made me believe it. Believe you won't deceive me.
First you gotta forgive me. Let me know everything gon' be okay. Even if I come out with everything I did, would you still punish me even though I did it a long time ago? If so, let me know. If I propose, would you say no? Would you break my heart? Would you embarrass me or play your part? Baby, don't fold, my heart is yours. You got the power, pussy power. You got the power, pussy power. The flow is yours, the time is ours. Hey, to believe me or you don't. Choose to believe me or you won't. If you leave me, I'm skull and bone. I'm dead, baby, you told me.
That's made me believe it. That's made me believe it. Believe you won't deceive me. That's
that you kill me if I fuck up. You told me I'm a lucky motherfucker. You love me, but you never ever trust him. You never ever trust me, no. There's three sides to the story, and that girl got a good PR. I knew we never make it far.
Damn, y'all fucked up. Okay, I really wasn't fucking thinking this morning. Like, seriously. Fuck. Okay, so that $60 that I had in that account, when this share dropped fucking $4, I was supposed to go in and grab another fucking share of SDGR. And that shit irritates me because I got fucking sidetracked. And some told me to put GDX in my second account, but I was just like, no, I'd rather put it up here to balance this out. And fucking ignoring my intuition. Like, now I'm disappointed because I was just arguing within myself, having an internal battle over this shit, and the internal battle always fucking wins. So I'm kind of irritated. Lean not to your own understanding, I promise you. So now it makes sense because I could have bought another share of SDGR at a fucking cheaper rate when it was like $4 down. I could have just bought one share of that. Now I may have to add more money to this fucking account just to buy that share because I didn't listen to the fucking intuition in the first place. Like, I hate that shit. Oh, this is me, y'all. I curse like a sailor, but please believe I'm a highly educated sister. Don't do me. But
It said I miss you. I ripped it up and flushed with the tissue. Try to
damn, I hate.
make a hater pull his head down. Biggie's OG salute me. A stylist can't even style me. The robbers probably wanna get me. I'm hopping out Lamborghinis. The Yankees turn in my city. They try me, I get it cracked. Some of this still would happen if I never started rapping. My people them steady trapping and they still be getting active. I tell them to chill. I'm trying to run up these M's. Pay cash and then he post the crib. I can't show nobody where my mama lived. That's how I supposed to feel. My niece just asked me what my diamonds real. I said, of course. I just played the hand that I was dealt. They had the force. All around the world, they know it's me. They hear my voice. And I done it all in a pair of Dior's. Yeah. Young age, learn how to get paid. Big stage, long way from session A. Big wave, he gon' have to get saved. Riding on foreign, she been on the forest. I know I went there for you, at least I said I'm sorry. You know what it was, I told you that I was hardest. I'm emotionally scarred, that ain't even your fault. But don't listen to them haters tryna feel you, it was all. Hardest revenue coming in, I probably never spend. I just bought my BM Benz, now that's another Benz. I just cut off all of my friends and brought my brothers in. I don't see nobody but me, who I'm gon' lose to. I can't move around without tools, these niggas lose screws. I can see me taking the lead over the new school. They remember me from selling weed at my old school. Only hit it once and now it's old news. Blew up, who the fuck would knew? Make my track out Nipsey Blue. If I get one, you get one too. I really move how bosses move. I never call myself a goat, I leave that up to the people. Everybody can't go to the top, I had to leave some people. I'ma be forever scheming. Woke up, I thought I was dreaming.
Oh, I sold MOGA, so let's go. I had to balance out my portfolio.
Young age, learn how to get paid. Big stage, long way from session A. Big wave, he gon' have to get saved. Riding on foreign, she been on the forest. I know I went there for you, at least I said I'm sorry. You know what it was, I told you that I was hardest. I'm emotionally scarred, that ain't even your fault. But don't listen to them haters tryna feel you, it was all. Young age, learn how to get paid. Big stage, long way from session A. Big wave, he gon' have to get saved. Riding on foreign, she been on the forest. I know I went there for you, at least I said I'm sorry. You know what it was, I told you that I was hardest. I'm emotionally scarred, that ain't even your fault. But don't listen to them haters tryna feel you, it was all.
It's crazy, you're still pretty when you cry. We got London on the track. She want that dog love, yeah. But this ain't no fucking love song. It's crazy, you're still pretty when you cry. Push your penny strings over to the side. Don't wake up and hit it while you got your dong on, yeah. You telling me that you want dog love, but you don't even kiss me when you making love. And that's how I knew that you was a dog. I cannot blame you. I can't even lie, I was the same too. I might be the reason, yeah, I changed you. Girl, I never meant to play you. Now you don't trust niggas. trust bitches. I ain't gon' lie, I was a dog nigga. A thug nigga with a heart. Niggas finna send shots, tryna get even. Headshot leave you like a vegetable with needles, yeah. Right, nuts gon' make them niggas run up on your people, yeah, yeah. Can't be eating on no cheese, that's illegal, nah. I just wanna be a rock star like the Beatles. I ain't no fucking stunt man, evil Knievel, but I can get you stunt man. Fuck is you thinking, niggas shooting like a jump man. 23, yeah, yeah. Okay, that's boogie in your nightmares. Yeah, okay, I used to bust jugs with my right hand. Yeah, okay, I used to bag it up with my left hand. To this day, I never read the Bible, so I might sing, yeah. Okay, that's boogie in your nightmare. I ain't wanna be a player, ain't never do it right. Yeah, I just hope my daughter never meet a nigga like me. Cause I swear I already know that nigga's grimy. Yeah, that's how I felt, nigga. I fucked a lot of niggas, bitches, and they still with her. And all the niggas that's with me, they was distance slow niggas. And they the type that go catch your body and not tell niggas. But it's so hard to tell though. I just hope you never tell though, yeah, yeah, just hold it down, yo, yeah, yeah, stick to the damn code, yeah, yeah. I cheated on my girl, so she want all of my passcodes. I was an asshole, I made up time for, bought a Louis Vuitton, Chanel and Tom Ford, yeah. But you say you want dog love, but this ain't no fucking dog song, yeah, yeah, pretty when you cry, pulling on your penny strings, put them to the side, wake up, hit it while you still got your dog on, yeah, nah, you say you want dog love, you don't even kiss me when we make love, yeah, yeah, you say that I'm a dog, but you don't even kiss me when we make love,
Okay, so let's take a moment to look at SIL. Once you see this, I'm not for sure how it either can go. It either can go this way or this way. So I'm not for sure how this about to break out. So I'm not for sure if I want to purchase this just yet.
Nothing.
I miss you.
I miss you too, man. You supposed to be calling to Southern for a concert, huh?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be there.
Man.
When is it? On the 28th or 26th?
It's one of them days. I'm gonna make sure you know. I love you though. I was trying to make sure I talk to you.
Okay, I'm glad you called, man. Glad you called.
I love you, Papa.
I love you too.
Son.
All right, man.
I just bought a brand new bezel for to make the hard times look pretty. And I came up straight up from the block. I watched my grandpa say penis. I wish my grandma was right here standing on side of me. Had to go through sad times to get it. And I know my son's gonna be alright, we all gonna be alright, cause I came by my business. Let go my past, I'm moving on. Everything new ain't nothing old. Penetrate way too many cars. And I just bought myself a home. And still can't think why anybody would just leave me. Pistol sparking, trying to drill these pussies out what I see. How the fuck you want me, but you hide me? I'ma head on, cause now you way up out of my league. We'll get you tatted, so just like her, you'll stay on side me. Dreams through the storm, I hope a smile always what kind see. Feel to see your greatness once they blind me. And that nigga must ain't popping it off, you talking that shit on Twitter. I'ma stay my dog ass in my way, steady screaming, fuck a nigga. My mama cars ain't never had AC ever since I was little. Thank God every card I got in my pocket, holding at least 1 million. For to make the hard times look pretty. And I came up straight up from the block. I watched my grandpa say penis. I wish my grandma was right here standing on side of me. Had to go through sad times to get it. And I know my son's gonna be alright, we all gonna be alright, cause I came by my business.
You see, I'm always with control, but I rep behind the scenes. I love my baby boy, he the wind beneath my wings. CT Lee and Lil Kendall, man, he get them anything. See your star up in the sky, to see I star, she on our team. I'm sleeping through the day because I'm living out my dream. And my mama on his side, she the angel on the scene. He going to the top because he win by any means. He married to this shit, he bought himself a wedding ring.
I just bought a brand new bezel for to make the hard times look pretty. And I came up straight up from the block. I watched my grandpa save pennies. I wish my grandma was right here standing on side of me. Had to go through sad times to get it. And I know my son's gonna be alright, we all gonna be alright, cause I came by my business.
Trump dummy, dummy.
Picture me rolling in my 500 beans. I got no love for these niggas, ain't no need to be friends. I don't fuck with these niggas, ain't no need to pretend. Ain't no trust in a nigga after this. You said you love me, but you're leaving me. I guess nothing's what it seemed to be. I need some happiness again, this life done beat on me. I called a flight to ease the pain, I switched the scenery. Through the pain, no, I gotta stay focused. Cause since a kid, that's all I wanted. I heard he feed his problem to the vultures. He couldn't say no more, so he exploded. Read the book on murder when she wrote it. We hit and scream, we hit and we unloaded. They see off for life, I run with soldiers. Heard he drop his coupe like he stole it. Pray to God that I can see the morning. I pray to God that I can see the morning. And now I lay me down asleep. Pray the Lord my soul to keep. If I should die before I wake up, I pray the Lord my soul to keep. Can you hear me, mama? I need you not answer your phone. There's been too much shit going on. These demons want my soul. Life too short to be living in a lie. It's too much pain to be living just to die. Can't feel my pain cause I hate it deep inside. I keep my head to the ribbon in the sky. Okay, ribbon in the sky. Life too short to be living in a lie. It's too much pain to be living just to die. I keep my head to the ribbon in the sky. Ribbon in the sky. Ribbon in the sky. Life too short to be living in a lie. It's too much pain to be living just to die. Ribbon in the sky. Okay, ribbon in the sky. I keep my head to the ribbon in the sky. Ribbon in the sky. Ribbon in the sky.
Sleep is the superpower that charges everything people do. It makes us friendlier, faster, and smarter. Imagine how much better the world would be if we all slept like a baby. The Dream Team at Casper spends their waking hours studying the magic and science of sleep, creating the most innovative sleep products that no one dreamed possible. Ready for a life well slept? Go to Casper.com, your one-stop shop for all things sleep.
I got one girl from Philly, I think her name Nikki, and I fuck with Nikki, cause she not too picky, and she not too choosy, but sometimes she bougie, I play with a kitty until it gets sticky. I'm moving the beat, chill like an alien, chop with the 50, my Uzi is red, say I turn to the boss, can't deal with no middleman, Anthony Davis.
As the internal borders, the European Commission unveiled a set of recommendations for EU countries. The guidelines cover everything from the removal of internal EU border restrictions to health measures for hotels. For more, let's bring in Adina Valian. She is EU Commissioner for Transport and she joins us from Brussels. Adina, how do you deal with each country trying to reopen on its own timeline, and yet a European Union and a European Commission that's trying to come up with broad guidelines for every country?
Bonnie, you should know that actually all the member states would like some guidance from the European Union, from Brussels, because we had experienced when the lockdowns starting to loom that the lack of coordination brought a lot of congestion and issues across borders. So now everyone is looking to us and say, okay, what rules should we put in place when we are going to open up? But the decision, the ultimate decision, because everyone is asking when, it relies with the member states, and that is because the epidemiological situation in each member state, it is so different. So it is up to national authorities, especially the health one, under the guidance from the European Center for Disease Control, to decide when they are opening up and for what destinations are they going to open up. What I can do and we are doing is say, okay, when you open up, these are the rules you should put in place for your transport modes so that people will feel safe to travel by plane or train or buses or whatever. And of course, it is a no-brainer, but it's good to have in place coherent and equivalent rules all over the Europe, because we are a single market and we really want to have the same rules in place all over member states.
And many of your countries depend to a large extent on tourism. It makes up a good proportion of GDP, depending on what country we're talking about, from Greece to Italy to Spain and so on. How much of the 2020 summer season do you think could possibly be salvaged in tourism?
Well, you know how it is, European Union. We are so different, actually. So, of course, there are countries in which the epidemiological situation is not that bad, and they are also touristic destinations, and they would be more eager to open up. But there are others, again, touristical destinations in which the situation is not quite stable yet. So I would say there is a difference between member states regarding the speed they would like to open up. But I think we are going to witness an opening this summer, because I have witnessed already there is a slow start in a reopening destination, for example, for air flight, for transport modes. Some will be more encouraged to open up for tourism purposes.
Commissioner, how concerned are you and your colleagues about a resurgence of the coronavirus if you do indeed lift restrictions or allow countries to continue with their restriction lifting?
Well, here it's hard to say. Of course, we are worried overall with the situation, and the fact that we do not have a vaccine or a treatment puts a lot of burden on the decisions to be taken. By the other hand, we are observing what is going on, how things are evolving, and until again we have a vaccine or a treatment, I think we have to learn to live with the virus. We have to learn to travel with the virus. So while for some other purposes we have learned to observe more security features, if you think at yourself at how a travel by plane looks nowadays and how it looked 20 years ago. It is such a much more difference. But I think with some rules in place to limit and minimize the risks, people will learn how to protect themselves and continue to do their economic activities or the travel or the leisure activities with more
Uh-oh, I found a new IPO here, people, so watch out now.
So I would say that first we'll learn to live with it, and then at some point
Let's take a moment to look at this new IPO I just found. One moment.
All the real niggas, they gon' twist and slide to this. I'm enjoying this time right now, so I don't give a fuck. I heard Trump about to take us to war, so I went and bought 2 army trucks. God, please watch over the nurses and doctors on the front line. God, please. I can't wait till the clouds gone and we get sunshine. Sunshine, 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 sunshine. My president is Trump.
One moment.
Man, them kids loud as hell downstairs.
It logged out.
Shit crazy as hell, what's going on?
So here we are. Let me go here to the.
Hey, babe, pay me that phone.
I just put XP in over here on Fidelity Pro, but XP Inc. Financials is a brand new IPO that recently dropped. Again, you know, I do my research. It has a high PE. Guess when it dropped back in December the 11th, 2019, it dropped at $32. It went up. And it dropped. So I think I'm gonna invest in this one. Simply the fact because it's a new IPO. And let's look at the company's profile.
I heard Trump about to take us to war, so I went and bought 2 army trucks. God, please watch over the nurses and doctors on the front line. God, please. I can't wait till the clouds gone and we get sunshine. Sunshine. Real life shit, nigga. Fuck a punchline. Fuck all that. About my guala 24/7, not sometime.
Yeah, this is my favorite song.
Never signed a deal, nigga, not one time. Hey, Squeaky, stop all the instruments and keep the drum line. Hold up. Busy working all my life, gave the family no time. Sorry, y'all. I apologize to the whole family just for being selfish. I love y'all. But the whole time I was focused on making the family wealthy. I love y'all. Wasn't shit you could tell me. Guala, 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 guala. Hey. Stack that paper, invest in yourself for times like this. Yeah, yeah. Straight up out the mud and now I shine like this. Yeah, yeah. All the real niggas, they gon' twist and slide to this. I'm enjoying this time right now, so I don't give a fuck. I heard Trump about to take us to war, so I went and bought 2 army trucks. God, please watch over the nurses and doctors on the front line. God, please. I can't wait till the clouds gone and we get sunshine. Sunshine, 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 sunshine. My president is Trump in my Lambo blue.
Yeah, I'm a Republican. I love Trump.
Man, them kids loud as hell downstairs. This shit crazy as hell, what's going on the news? Hey, babe, pay me that phone. Church, y'all quit jumping on that couch, bro. Hello?
What's up, Doc? What you been doing?
Shit, listening to the president talking about the Chinese flu, and just like everybody else, nigga, I've been quarantining with my biscotti, lemon tree, and promethazine. I know my garbage man sick of seeing empty paint bottles. FaceTime every day with my sister, auntie, and mama. Love ya. Fuck it, make a Corona baby with baby mama. Fuck. Last night I was up 4 in the morning, oil in my chopper. Fuck. I needed some time off anyway, so it ain't no problem. Fuck it. Independent, so I'ma eat anyway regardless. Fuck it. Trey happy as fuck, cause daddy been home every day. Love ya. Ari happy as fuck, cause daddy home, she get her way. Called my nigga and told him, man, I'm finna spend $6 million on stocks. He said, when? Hell yeah, nigga, me too, cause that's how we rock. My president is Trump in my Lambo blue. This $350,000 $50,000 Sonic is too. I'm enjoying this time right now, so I don't give a fuck. I heard Trump about to take us to war, so I went and bought 2 army trucks. God, please watch over the nurses and doctors on the front line. God, please. I can't wait till the clouds gone and we get sunshine. Real life shit, nigga, fuck a punchline. Fuck all that. Got my guala 24/7, not sometime. That's why I never signed a deal, nigga, not one time. Hey, Squeaky, stop all the instruments and keep the drum line. Hold up. Busy working all my life, gave the family no time. Sorry, y'all. I apologize to the whole family just for being selfish. I love y'all. But the whole time I was focused on making the family wealthy. I love y'all. Wasn't shit you could tell me. Guala, 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 guala. Hey. Stack that paper, invest in yourself for times like this. Straight up out the mud and now I shine like this. All the real niggas, they gon' twist and slide to this. I'm enjoying this time right now, so I don't give a fuck. I heard Trump about to take us to war, so I went and bought 2 army trucks. God, please watch over the nurses and doctors on the front line. God, please. I can't wait till the clouds gone and we get sunshine. Sunshine, sunshine. President is Trump in my Lambo blue. This $350,000 Sonic is too.
Cook that shit up, Quay.
What's the chances that you make it from the bottom? Let's go. Gotta beat the odds, I'm tryna blend in. Hit that boy so many times, he may sin in. Fear got pants on, fear man. Pull up in the whole school to fit me in the rear end. Big dog. Taking chances, getting packs and tryna get them back. I watch the law take my bro, I'm tryna get them back. I pray to God and I don't have to get nobody wet. Ain't getting into that. I try to tell them fast. What's the chances that you run you up a couple mil? And you really come from sleeping out of projects? What's the chances that you run you up a couple mil? And you 2 million, man, catch your body. I got it the worst. I ain't had to rehearse this. Made me who I am, I'm getting bands, I'm breaking curses. Just about do 6 figures, still got sheets for curtains. Excuse me, I go off, have flashbacks in my verses. I'm telling you, I done put my heart inside a box and tried to sell it to him. Beefing with my partners, do a nigga like I never knew him. Fucked around and seen him with a nigga, I would've never knew it. Always talking about what I'm gonna do, but I don't never do it, yeah. Beefing with myself, keep on and serve up, knowing it don't help. It's like I got money to please everybody else. They act like they with you, but I'm knowing they don't care. They ain't it for sale. I got it for sale if it's rolling. I got out of jail and I showed them. Couple bitches know they wish they would've held it down. It felt like they built me up, tried to tear me down. What's the chances that you run you up a couple mil? And you really come from sleeping out of projects? What's the chances that you run you up a couple mil? And you 2 million, man, catch your body. I gotta stay solid. I grew up around dope boys, I don't need no stylist. I got grown man money, can't be acting childish. I've been through too much shit, barely even smile. Sipping on this bed, I wish bro was with me now. It was time that we'll go broke, we'll pick a play and take him down. Keep me while I'm down, when I get up, I probably shit on you. I can't even lie, I probably see him out and spit on him. These pieces I got lit on me, this piece I got gon' hit on me. I ain't never did no fraud, but I'm known for pulling cars. I said about me in my neighborhood, I'm known for going hard. I've been busting on that glizzy ever since I had got robbed. I didn't really be. What's the chances that you run you up a couple mil? And you really come from sleeping out of projects? What's the chances that you run you up a couple mil? And you 2 million, man, catch your body? What's the chances that you run you up a couple mil? And you really come from sleeping out of projects? What's the chances that you run you up a couple mil? And you 2 million, man, catch your body? I got it the worst.
There's no question. Top Shelf Rap and R&B is your #1 destination for new music by your favorite artists. Lil Durk.
These ain't no guest jeans. I dropped out of school, I'm still good at math, but nigga don't text me.
Chris Brown and Young Thug.
Everything you do is amazing.
Trey Songz featuring Summer Walker. Right now on Pandora. Tap here to listen.
Let's go. We sit our hype outside, right from the house. Took it straight from outside, straight to the couch. We put the mic outside, edit shit out. You letting the scouts outside. We running the scouts. Ain't no control in the game. They never leave. I got tats over my veins, cause that what I bleed. She drink a lot of the bourbon, like she from the street. We got control of the flows in her. We heard that your wave went dry. We flood in a drought. Heard that your hood outside. We added some routes. We having the goods outside. Move it in and out. You letting the scouts outside. We running the scouts.
We done found a new IPO over here, so let's get to this new IPO we just recently found over here.
Cleveland boy, he make him pay. Yes, that Cleveland boy, he done made a way. Hey, headed for someone to go. Anyone send him on these. Niggas don't know where to go. Gotta keep giving them heat. The mad.
What the fuck? I don't know what that is. Okay, so for some reason I'm all over the place. I'm just trying to show y'all this damn new IPO. What the hell? Okay, so here's the new IPO that just recently dropped. If you look on the filter that I had up for Fidelity Active Trade Pro, this was one of the ones that was moving today. So as I stated to you all, I put the filter up and I researched the stocks that's the highest percentage move for today. So Beam Therapeutics Inc. is one of them. It's Bravo Echo Alpha Mike. As of now, it's up $3. I want to say it dropped February 6th at $24. And due to the pandemic, it has been dropping. So now it's on the rise. So I might jump in just because they're new IPOs.
You already know, Bitch, we the top of the sauce for the top, and you know that they copy you walk. They cleaning them out, but these bitches, they hopping, I couldn't fall out with it, bro. Hotter than Taki, I like it, I cop it, ain't nobody stopping the go. Smoke like they daddy, we sit in the lobby, we just rented out the whole flow. Getting high in the sky, boss, I can see it. Hot spot, and it's
So Beam is a new symbol that has dropped this year in February.
Can't catch us, so forget it. There's no cap, I'm in a guinea. It's really rap, this ain't a gimmick. I had a trap, now I got plenty. I'm in the castle, fucking a genie. I bought the castle, she wanna wrestle. I ain't got tackle, drunk on the henny. Turn to a saddle, I had to handle. I'm about to smack him, broke on the fanny. I put 4 12s in the V12. My bitch Trump, starting around. She said she smell, I'm doing well when I'm on the fuck. It don't matter.
a dropping, no, I cannot fly, coming straight to the top like a ladder. Niggas play tough and they talk on the internet, but they ain't never gonna hit them. I took a loss and they made me a boss, now come look, I'm doing better than them. He calls you the flop of Scotty when I cough and I'm trying to get higher enough. Getting high in the sky, boss, I can see it. Hot spot in this plush style, and it's lit. Screw chop, Gucci sauce, got them dripping. For the cops, we can't be stopped, just admit it. Paint the town, baseline committed. Bloodhound, cold hard crippin'. Best spot, we got all the vibes with it. Head start, you can't catch us, so forget it.
First time in a long time, hurting deeply inside. First time in a long time, hurting deeply. Trust who? Watching my back even when I'm in the booth. I'll trust who? Doing my thing, but I'm down to come clean, not like you. I wanna make you feel the weight off your shoulders too. I'll take it.
That electors show up for the meeting of the Electoral College, and on the other side's view, even that is unacceptable. And as you heard today, I'm somewhat confused about exactly what their position is on this, but it seems they're saying you cannot remove someone even if you know they accepted a bribe unless you can somehow move through the criminal process before the electors meet. And that's just absurd. It's completely contrary to the historical record, and it leads to a dangerous consequence, Your Honor, that there's a huge incentive under the other side's view for those who want to meddle in our presidential elections, whether it be a foreign power or just a wealthy individual, to attempt to bribe or blackmail electors. And it's quite easy to imagine a foreign government hacking into the computer of a few dozen electors to find embarrassing information about them and try to get them to change their votes. And if there's nothing the state can do about that.
I say the state law for electors say that they have to vote for the slate of the party that sponsors them and that they will be certified as electors unless the circumstances after the election have changed to the extent that the legislature thinks the electors ought to be changed. In other words, not unbridled discretion with the legislature, but a condition known to the electors before they were selected. Would that be all right?
Mr. Chief Justice, I think that raises the same challenge as your earlier hypothetical, that while the legislature in the first instance has the power to set any condition that complies with the Constitution, once the legislature has given to the public the power to vote in the presidential election, they cannot override that vote consistent with the Equal Protection Clause in this court's cases. So your hypothetical, I think, pushes up against that principle. And it's not just what commitment are you asking the electors to make, but what have you told the public about their role? And of course, under the other side's theory, the public role we currently think of as the presidential election process, the campaigns, the debates, the rallies, the voting, is all irrelevant and always has been. It's purely advisory. And
then all they have to do is tell the public that when it comes to electors, we're going to follow Mr. Lessig's view.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chief Justice, I don't understand the question.
Well, the question is, you're suggesting that the critical factor is whether the state's conduct is based on a condition prior to the selection of electors. And if the electors know that they have the discretion, or that the state has the discretion to replace them, and the people know that, shouldn't that be enough?
No, Mr. Chief Justice, the critical point is that if the condition is constitutional, then the condition can be enforced by removal or by sanction, just as it has been since before 1800. So if the condition is you have to show up for the meeting of the Electoral College, the state can enforce that. If the condition is you have to pledge to vote for the candidate chosen by the state's voters, we know that's a valid condition, the state can enforce it. So that's
Thank
the crucial.
you, counsel. Justice Thomas?
Yes, thank you, Chief Justice. General Purcell, just to clarify, could you give us precisely some of the limitations on the restrictions that the state can impose on the electors? I understand you can require show up for the vote. I understand that you have the limit of what's constitutional, but beyond that, what else limits you?
Well, I think those are meaningful limits, Justice Thomas, and those are the limits. This court has said that the power of states over appointment is exclusive, is plenary. Obviously, as I said, the Equal Protection Clause imposes limits. Other constitutional provisions, like the Presidential Qualifications Clause, impose limits such that states can't, for example, restrict electors' choice of who they can vote for in a way that would violate the Presidential Qualifications Clause. But other than that, the states have plenary authority to appoint electors and to set valid conditions. And if the condition is valid, if the condition is constitutional, then the condition can be enforced. That's our position.
Yeah, well, I guess that's why we're here. But one other question: I'm interested in what you think and how you would define the scope of the federal function concept.
Your Honor, I think there's three crucial problems with the other side's federal function argument. The first is that it's just not even supported by the cases they cite. In Ray, Burroughs mentioned federal function mentions that federal function is federal interest, obviously, in the conduct of presidential elections. But they don't say or imply in any way that the Supremacy Clause restricts state authority over electors. And second, the whole point of the federal function doctrine is to prevent state interference with actions of the federal government and with actions of federal officers. And in this context, the federal government does not elect the president, and electors are not federal officers. And the third point, Your Honor, is a historical one, that if they were right about this federal function idea, then states never, ever would have been able to remove or sanction electors for any reason. And yet we see statutes from even before 1800 in many states that provided for exactly that, for removal or sanction of electors. And under the other side's theory, those statutes have always been unconstitutional. And under the other side's theory, the state can't remove or sanction an elector for any reason, as far as I can tell from their theory. Even if the state knows the person has taken a bribe, the state cannot remove or replace them. Even if the state knows that the person is not going to show up for the meeting of the Electoral College, the state cannot remove or replace them, even though states have been doing that, again, since before 1800. So I just don't understand how the other side's theory is with the original understanding. It's just not the original understanding. It's an academic theory that has never been put into practice.
Thank you, counsel. Justice Ginsburg?
What do you make of the fact that Congress has never failed to count an anomalous electoral vote? Not once. It has always accepted the anomalous votes.
Justice Ginsburg, I think that highlights Congress's view that it should defer to states about the votes that they certify to Congress to count. Of course, in every example that the other side's given, the state had certified those votes as the state's votes. But if you look at 2016, Congress also counted the votes from Colorado and from Minnesota, where the state replaced faithless electors with electors who promised to vote as pledged and did vote as pledged, and Congress counted those votes as well. So what you see in the history is Congress deferring to the state's designation of which electors are validly appointed by the state.
Thank you.
Justice Breyer?
Thank you, counsel. I'd like you to assume whether this is Mr. Lessig's argument or not. Assume this is my argument for present purposes. The only thing a state cannot do is to punish the elector for the way he actually casts his vote. As far as bribery laws are concerned, there are plenty. As far as gratuities, all kinds of things, what he's doing before he'd accept a bribe or promise to before. The only thing is the actual casting of the vote. Now there, as to that, what would happen, and there have been quite a few faithless electors, for the most part, it hasn't mattered. Where it really might matter is if somebody died or some catastrophe happened or worse. There it might matter. And in the one case, Congress refused to count votes which were cast for the person who was promised, Horace Greeley. And so there is a mechanism in Congress to protect catastrophe. Namely, they count which ballots they choose to count. The alternative is your alternative, which is the state tries to control it. Which is the greater danger? Which is the greater safeguard? To have a Congress that will decide what to do with the faithless electoral vote, or to have the state, possibly, who knows what they could pass as a requirement? Now, what is your opinion about that?
Well, Justice Breyer, there's a lot there, and I want to start by addressing your last question about what can Congress do. Congress cannot solve this problem because Congress cannot appoint an elector for a state. So even if Congress could reject a ballot, for example, if it knew that the elector had been bribed, the state has lost that electoral vote and cannot get it back. The Congress cannot appoint a new elector for the state. And just rejecting that ballot might alter the outcome of the presidential election, or rejecting several ballots might. So the idea that Congress can solve this after the fact it's not true, and it ignores the constitutional delegation of power to the states. Turning to your other points, I mean, there's just no. An example I think helps illustrate why there's really no
way he casts his vote.
Well,
and that is what I think the other side says is the one thing the state cannot do.
First of all, Justice Breyer, Washington's revised law now removes the person before they can vote, just as Colorado's law does. Washington's prior law did impose a fine for breaking your pledge, for violating the condition of appointment. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you look historically, from even before 1800, states had fines for violating conditions of appointment. And so, and it's also quite common for appointed officials at the state and federal level to potentially face consequences for voting in violation of a promise. So, for example, the United States ambassador to the UN certainly has a vote in the UN General Assembly. But if they vote differently from how the president directs them, the president, of course, can sanction them or remove them. So it's quite common with appointed officials that they can face consequences for voting differently than they promised. And that's what this is just a straightforward example of.
Thank you very much.
Justice Alito?
Hey, Counsel, does the Constitution impose any limits on a state's power to attach conditions to the appointment of an elector?
Some, Justice Alito, the ones I was referencing earlier. So obviously the state cannot impose conditions that themselves would be unconstitutional, such as race-based conditions, for example. Okay. But go ahead.
What else?
Well, as I said before, the state can't impose conditions that would violate the Presidential Qualifications Clause. Other constitutional limitations might come into play if the, it's hard to imagine our basic point is that if a condition is constitutional, and we know this condition is, then that condition can be enforced. That's the key question: is the condition itself constitutional?
Could a state require electors to cast their votes for the candidate chosen in a resolution passed by the state legislature after the popular vote is cast?
No, Your Honor. That's what I was trying to say in answer to the Chief Justice's question as well. That would violate the public's fundamental right to vote once they have been granted that right by the state, and violate their fundamental right to vote.
Well, I didn't quite understand that answer. Is a state obligated to choose electors through popular vote?
No, Your Honor. As at the beginning, in the early days, the legislature can choose electors directly if it wants, and in that circumstance, the legislature can impose and enforce a pledge. But once the legislature has given the power to vote to the public now has a fundamental right to vote and to have their votes counted equally. And as this court has said in a number of cases, and so the legislature can't free, then I think that presents a question. But I think they probably could do that. The key compromise of the Constitution as to electors was to leave it to states to decide exactly what authority they would have. States were free to, as some states did then, and as some states still do today. But states were also free to choose electors on the basis of who they had pledged to support, as many states did from the beginning, and as the majority of states do now.
What is the difference between that setup and the setup that Mr. Lessig says is required?
Well, Your Honor, the crucial difference is that Lessig is saying there's nothing the states can do to remove or sanction electors after appointment for any reason. And we are saying that we know from history and we know from Ray, and the other side even admits that this condition of pledging to support the candidate preferred by the state's voters is a constitutional condition. And that condition can be enforced just like any other constitutional condition. That's our key point. And states have been removing and replacing electors for violating conditions of appointment since before 1800. States have been choosing electors specifically because of who they pledged to support since the very beginning. If the other side were right about how electors were supposed to operate, what you would have seen historically is electors trying to convince legislatures and the public to choose them because of their great wisdom and knowledge. They would have been saying, choose me, I will decide well on your behalf. And that is never, ever how American presidential elections have operated. Electors were chosen because of the candidate they had promised to support. So to adopt their view would be to radically change how American presidential elections have always operated.
Justice Sotomayor?
Counsel, I'm curious about your views on the 10th Amendment. The other side points out that you never raised it. Two of my colleagues have referred to it. But am I assuming correctly that Thornton sort of puts a quash on relying on the 10th Amendment in a situation like this? This is a new procedure that Congress intended. So the states can't say that they expected or reserved a right in something they never knew they had.
Well, Your Honor, we didn't explicitly argue the 10th Amendment, but we don't think we need to rely on it, and we support our colleagues in Colorado in making that argument. We think that the fundamental premise of the Constitution is that states have, the federal government is one of enumerated powers. States have powers unless they're taken away. Nothing in the Constitution restricts state authority to impose conditions on appointment of electors and to enforce them. And even if that weren't the case, the text itself gives states power to appoint electors. That phrase, this court has repeatedly said, the appointment power, inherent in that power is the removal power unless there's contrary language. And the original understanding has always been that the appointment power of electors included removal power, as you see in the early statutes. So I don't think the court needs to rely on the 10th Amendment to resolve this case. I think, but I think it's certainly the background principle that states have powers unless they're limited by the federal Constitution is relevant and supports our side.
Now, you rely on a default rule in your brief, which you haven't mentioned yet, which is the power to appoint includes the power to remove. But all of the examples that you rely on are vertical appointments, when an official within one branch of government appoints a subordinate in the same branch for an indefinite period. And the idea is, if I appoint you, I should be able to get rid of you if in your service to me, you are doing something wrong. But here, the state is appointing a voter to do something that most people think of as requiring judgment and some measure of freedom, which is the power to cast a ballot. The other side in its brief points out that there were other words that would have connoted something different than elector, like a delegate. You appoint the delegate to cast a vote for you. But that's not what Congress chose. In appointing an elector has a sense of someone who's going to vote. So how can you say that tradition within the executive branch of the power to remove is controlling here?
Justice Sotomayor, there's really three fundamental problems with the electors' argument on that front. There's a textual problem, a historical problem.
Well, I don't think it's their problem. I think it's your problem.
Well, I guess I'd say none of the cases say anything like what they have drawn this vertical appointment language. Well, first of all, it first appears in their reply brief. In their opening brief, they said that rule, well, they didn't mention the default rule at all. They suggested it was just the executive branch. And then in our response, we pointed out, well, actually, there's a bunch of cases from the judicial branch applying this rule, and now they've invented this kind of vertical rule. But that rule appears nowhere in the court's cases. The court has said in context after context that the removal power is inherent in. It just comes along with the appointment power. You said it in constitutional cases, statutory cases, high-level officials, low-level officials, judicial branch, executive branch. And even if you hadn't said that over and over again, if you look at the history, here the history shows that states could remove electors from the very beginning. Again, from the statutes from before 1800. And the other side's theory on this front also is that once the state appoints the elector, they somehow become part of another branch of government or something like that. But the court has rejected that idea. The court has said that these electors are not federal agents or officials. The court said that very clearly in Fitzgerald over a century ago. So their newfound theory about so-called horizontal appointments, it's just not supported by text, by history, or by precedent, and it's kind of a sideshow. Frankly, it's just not. It doesn't help answer the question here. The court has never drawn that distinction.
Thank you, counsel. Justice Kagan?
General, what do you view as your best textual argument?
Well, Your Honor, we think the best textual argument is just that nothing in the Constitution limits state authority over how to appoint electors or whether states can impose conditions and enforce them. We think there's a direct grant of authority in the appointment power, as this court has repeatedly recognized. And we think that certainly by the time of the 12th Amendment, everyone understood that electors were being chosen in the states because they had promised to support particular candidates. So the idea that when the framers of that amendment used the word elector, they inherently meant someone who can exercise discretion it just doesn't make any sense. That is not how the term was being applied in any of the states. That was not how they understood it. And in fact, the framers of the 12th Amendment quite clearly intended to embrace the system as it had developed, where electors were pledging their votes and states were choosing them on that basis. This court said that in Ray very clearly. That was a key point of the 12th Amendment.
So if I understand you correctly, you're really saying you don't have an affirmative textual argument. What your argument is that the Constitution doesn't say, and if the Constitution doesn't say, we should presume that states were meant to decide.
Well, let me be more precise, Justice Kagan. I think that starting principle is right. That should be the other side's burden to show that we can't do this. But the power to appoint does include the power to remove it. So there is a textual grant. And what I was getting at the end there was just that the central premise of the other side's argument is that these words, elector, especially elector, require the exercise of discretion. And that's not true as a textual matter, and it's absolutely not true as a historical matter. And so that's, I guess, the point that I was trying to get at there was that it's their argument, really, that asks you to ignore the original understanding and early practice, and they're asking you to do that based on words that, meanings of these words that just are not how the framers and their contemporaries understood them.
Isn't the idea that the power to appoint includes the power to remove highly contextual, that it depends on a certain understanding of control, which is exactly the question here? You're sort of assuming the conclusion by saying that.
I disagree, Your Honor. The court has said repeatedly that the power to appoint includes the power to remove unless there is text limiting that power, and that limitations on the power, the court has said, will not be implied. And again, the court has said that in many, many, many contexts. And really, the only time the court has found otherwise is where there was explicit text limiting the removal power. And so I don't want to overly emphasize this point. I think it's at least as important that when you look at the early understanding, the framers and their contemporaries clearly understood that states could remove and replace electors, and they also clearly understood that states could choose electors because of who they had pledged to support. So, I think it's the other side that really is asking you to rip these words out of context and place vastly more weight on them, on these kind of dictionary definitions, untethered from how the framers actually applied them. they're asking you to adopt kind of one possible reading that the framers could have had of these terms, but it's a possible reading that is just refuted by what the framers and their contemporaries actually did. And it also, Your Honor, Justice Kagan, it leads to the absurd consequence that everything that we think of as the presidential election process currently is really just advisory. It is all largely irrelevant. It just all that matters is who the electors choose. And on the other side, it's telling they can choose whoever they want for whatever reason they want, and they can't be removed even if they're taking a bribe, or even if they're being blackmailed, or even if they say in advance, I'm not going to show up for the meeting. It just, again, it would radically change how American presidential elections have always worked in our country.
Thank you, General.
Justice Gorsuch?
Counsel, I understand your argument is that a $1,000 fine doesn't diminish or negate the fact that the elector here is voting and has in some real sense a right to vote that's being honored. But what about the new law that both Washington's adopted and I know Colorado has too, the Uniform Faithful Presidential Electors Act? And I know you're going to tell me it's not before us, but put that aside for the moment, if you will, for the purposes of this question. That, as I understand it, and you can correct me, that if an elector renders a faithless vote, that automatically removes him from office as a matter of law, and in fact, votes aren't even counted until the Secretary of State has collected the requisite number of ballots marked for the right people based on pre-existing pledges. Is that consistent with the Constitution's prescribed order of appointment, meeting, and voting? It seems like the voting comes first and then the appointment under the uniform law. And is it also consistent with the Federal Electoral Count Act? If you could just speak to me about those questions, I'd be grateful.
Certainly, Justice Gorsuch. It is consistent because the way that the laws work is that the elector who seeks to violate the conditions of their appointment by casting a faithless ballot is removed before they can vote. They're not removed before they're appointed. They are initially appointed, but then they're removed when they violate the condition. And then they're replaced, and another elector is appointed who will follow the law that they promised to follow and keep their promise and vote as directed. So the order is proper. It's appointment, and depending when in the process the elector announces their intentions, they're removed and they're replaced by someone else who votes in accordance with state law. And to come back to my example from earlier, if I can, there's really no meaningful difference between the person who says, I don't like our nominee, I'm not showing up for the meeting, and one who says, I don't like our nominee, I'm showing up for the meeting, and I'm voting for somebody else. The state, both people have violated valid conditions of appointment. Both people can be removed by the state and replaced by someone else. The other side's position is neither of those people can be replaced. And even the person who says, I'm not showing up because somebody gave me $2 million to not show up because that might affect the outcome of the election, the other side says that person can't be replaced. That just makes absolutely no sense historically, textually, or practically.
Thank you. Justice Kavanaugh?
Thank you, Chief Justice. Good morning, General Purcell. If you're right about the electors not having this kind of discretion from the Constitution, I wanted to get your take on provision of Article 2, Section 1 that says, no senator or representative or person holding an office of trust or profit under the United States shall be appointed an elector. What is the purpose you see of that provision if your theory of the electors is correct?
Yes, Justice Kavanaugh, thank you for that question. So the framers did not spend a whole lot of time talking about the exact role of electors, and they certainly did not agree on exactly what role they would play. But one thing that they were clear on was they did not want Congress choosing the president. And so they specifically prohibited members of Congress from serving in that role. But they left it to states to decide whether electors would serve as kind of, as Hamilton envisioned them, as the kind of sage chooser on behalf of the state, or as many other framers wanted, the electors to be agents of the people, to act on the people's behalf, and for the people to choose them and for them to be bound to that outcome, to be bound to the people's preference. So yes, they imposed that limitation on who could serve, And that is, another example of a constitutional condition limiting state authority. But again, it just goes to the point that if the state can set a condition to serve as an elector, that condition can be enforced.
Mr. Lessig says that the framers considered various modes, obviously, and you agree, and history shows they considered the states doing it directly, or at least that was an idea out there through the legislatures or governors. They considered Congress, as you just pointed out, that there was a separation of powers problem there. They didn't necessarily want the new president to be too dependent on Congress. Popular election was not adopted, and so they came up instead with what Mr. Lessig describes as a indirect mode of selection with the model of electors who would exercise, as he sees it, their own discretion and independent judgment to pick the best person to be president, the best person to head the executive branch. And he says that mode remains indirect, consistent with the framers' choice, only if the electors retain a legal discretion. So on that overall structure that Mr. Lessig sets up and describes the history, why is he not right, given that they rejected all these other modes?
Well, the framers had a number of concerns about direct elections that included logistical concerns and concerns about the impact on the influence of southern states. But ultimately, they settled on an approach that left it to the states to decide, as this court said in McPherson, the broadest possible power of determination as to how to appoint electors and what role they would play. And the options open to states certainly included both leaving electors with discretion, as some states still do today, and states choosing electors specifically because they had pledged to support particular candidates. And certainly by the time of the 12th Amendment, that had become the virtually universal practice in states. And the framers of the 12th Amendment well understood that and adopted the language of the 12th Amendment to facilitate that. And if you need a historical example, if that would be helpful, in the election of 1804, right after adoption of the 12th Amendment, it operated just as they had expected. The parties put forward presidential and vice presidential tickets. Electors were chosen throughout the country because they supported those tickets, and every single elector in the country voted for the party ticket preferred by their state's voters. And the meetings of the electors, even in 1804, were in many states mere formalities. They filled out pre-prepared ballots. They did not discuss or deliberate, and Congress did not question a single one of those ballots or their validity. So that just shows that by the time of the 12th Amendment, as this court has said repeatedly, the role of electors was simply to transmit the vote of the state for president.
Thank you.
Thank you, counsel. Would you like to take a minute to wrap up?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chief. Thank you, Mr. Chief Justice. Every 4 years, over 100 million Americans participate in our country's presidential election process. They attend rallies, they watch debates, and ultimately they go to the polls. More Americans participate in this election than in any other democratic process in our system of government. But under petitioner's theory, this entire process is irrelevant and always has been, because all that matters is who the electors prefer. On their view, the electors can choose whoever they want to be president, regardless of any voluntary commitments they made to secure their position, regardless of how their state voted, and regardless of whether they are being bribed or blackmailed for their vote. That is not the law. The Constitution's text, the original understanding, this court's precedent, and our country's historical practice all demonstrate that states are allowed to require presidential electors to vote for the candidate chosen by the state's voters and to enforce that requirement. We ask you to reaffirm that principle today. Thank you.
Thank you, General. Mr. Lessig, you have 2 minutes for rebuttal.
Thank you, Mr. Chief Justice. Your Honor, the state has relied upon early statutes, which it says affirm the power of the state to remove electors because they violate a condition. Absolutely none of those statutes had anything to do with the conditions on voting. Those statutes related to the appointment power. They were incidental to the appointment power. So we concede, obviously, that incidental to the appointment power, the state has the authority to make sure someone shows up to vote. And we believe that general laws apply to electors as well. This is not a general immunity. But they have no power to control the vote, and they never have exercised that. The state has asserted that because they appoint the electors, they get to control the electors. But in fact, the authority they rely on is quite explicit. Myers, at page 119, says the reason for this is that those in charge of and responsible for administering functions of government need the authority to control them by removing them. That was the reason for the principle. But there is nothing in the founding to suggest that the framers imagined the states administering the Electoral College. That's why the states don't appear in the 12th Amendment at all. And finally, Your Honor, if you recognize this power, how will you cabinet? If you find a state has the power to regulate electoral votes, may the state forbid the elector from voting for a candidate who has not visited the state, who has not released his tax returns, as bills in New Jersey and New York purport to do, or has not pledged to appoint justices who will uphold Roe. Open this door, and there are an endless list of partisan opportunisms that will tempt the states. Throughout history, there have been amendments to change the elector discretion every single time, recognizing there was that discretion. For the state of Washington in 1977 to discover it is to show they were chumps, believing they didn't have this power. And we believe the power has always been with electors to exercise discretion. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, counsel. The case is submitted.
For years, you've weathered the ups and downs of life, and we've been here for you at CubeSmart with clean and convenient self-storage, a friendly smile, and a shoulder to lean on. Today, we're still here with that same care for you and your things. And now, our contact-free rentals help protect the communities we're a part of. So if you need us now
I haven't been researching because I'm working on another project, but again, just pay attention to the filters over here. I was able to find 2 new IPOs today, which is XP, X-Ray Papa. The second new IPO was Beam, Bravo, Echo, Alpha Mike. So, excuse me. Shit, what's wrong with me? So the filters is more like a treasure trove over here. So just research everything that you see over there. But again, I have another project that I'm working on. So I'm going to try to keep updating it as we go. But I do want to watch SDGR and KC and DKNG.
Might come down on a Wednesday. Check just cleared on a Thursday. I'ma blow it all by the weekend, yeah. I'ma run it up in a month. I'ma fuck it up in a weekend. Whole pound of money bag once. I'ma smoke it up by the weekend. On curl, I'ma be blunt. Bitch, I'm tryna fuck by the weekend. I know what these hoes really want. A thug fucking on them to the weekend. XO, appointments only what I tell my next hoe. I ain't fucking with my ex, she retro. She having a hard time trying to let go. I guess she ain't wanna see the jets gone. Shot out like a rocket. Yeah, the bitch was 2 out of pocket. My young bitch lighter on my feet, and her head sloppy. Damn, I'm off topic. Back to my calendar, my shit looking forward. Your hustle looking sleepy, you gon' need a Red Bull. I'm a dope boy, yeah, I'm still in velour. I ain't in the hood, but I still got pulled. She a 5.5, and I'm still gon' do it. You ever seen a dead body? Shit smell like a sword. Told her I'm a Taurus, yeah, I'm a bull. Don't believe me, Zodiacs, cause ain't no psychics in the hood. Don't believe me, shaking hands if we ever get into it. They took my right hand, boy, you know I'm going through it. And you can tell I'm hurt, I ain't never trying to pretend. We were running up checks on the weekend. I was cooking up work on a Thursday. Prepping my kitchen for a Friday. Weekend gon' be rolling. Rafe just waiting on me to drive it. I was fucking up a club on a Saturday. Drills. Fucking up a club on a Sunday. Live. Read up, popped out midday, afternoon. Then I do it all over Monday. Yeah. I was going up on a Tuesday. Might come down on a Wednesday. Check just cleared on a Thursday. I'ma blow it all by the weekend.
I'm trying to recover from the weekend. I went way too hard on a Sunday. Next day, the mail fucked up, so they bring it on the truck. It should be here first thing Monday. Touchdown. 2 hitters with me and they the dumb way. Too retarded. Never listen, they do what the gun say. Go. Chopper got kicked back like MMA. Blue tips eat his face like an entree. Money bag run, smoking zip out the zip. In a VIP with my drip, a little burner on my hip. 2 cups, let me sip. Bring the whip, I'm about to dip. Bust a check up and chase, then I fuck it up and flips. I just want your bitch for the weekend sizzle. Say she want a nigga with some drip, not drizzle. Never had a nigga that's real on Rilla. Wanna be in the video, I fuck you on Triller.
I'm cooking up work on a Thursday. Prepping my kitchen for a Friday. Weekend gon' be rolling. Rafe just waiting on me to drive it. I was fucking up a club on a Saturday. Drills. Fucking up a club on a Sunday. Live. Read up, popped out midday, afternoon. Then I do it all over Monday. Yeah. I was going up on a Tuesday. Might come down on a Wednesday. Check just cleared on a Thursday. I'ma blow it all by the weekend. Yeah.
I'd rather keep it real with ya. Real hot girl shit. It ain't always about what you like, sometimes it's about what's right. I'd rather be a B-I-T-C-H, cause that's what you gon' call me when I'm trippin' anyway. You know you can't control me, baby. You need a real one in your life. The bitches ain't gon' give it to you, right? I'd rather be a B-I-T-C-H, cause that's what you gon' call me when I'm trippin' anyway. You know you can't control me, baby. You need a real one in your life. The bitches ain't gon' give it to you, right? Why you wanna play with me? You know I'm undefeated. A real hot girl know how to keep a nigga heated. You say you won't respect, won't treat me how you wanna be treated. You told me to keep it real, but you don't practice what you preaching. You want me to blow your phone up and come and looking for you till I find you. You really want me to whoop the hoe that you fucking with if I find her. Bitch, you ain't that busy, I don't give a fuck what you ain't got time for. You look me in my eyes and know you lying, man, that's far, bro. Man, you knew I was a player, but you met me, need to relax. You know that you gon' hate me if I get the plan, get back. I ain't turning to no damage when you met me, boy, I been there. You tryna make me something that I ain't with that. I'd rather be a B-I-T-C-H, cause that's what you gon' call me when I'm trippin' anyway. You know you can't control me, baby. You need a real one in your life. The bitches ain't gon' give it to you, right? I'd rather be a B-I-T-C-H, cause that's what you gon' call me when I'm trippin' anyway. You know you can't control me, baby. You need a real one in your life. The bitches ain't gon' give it to you, right? I got my mind on getting paid. We ain't spoken some days. He probably thinking I'm in pain, but I'm really on game. Ain't no nigga finna stop me. Independent, I got me. All the shit that I be needing can't depend on the probably. And that's fucked up cause you know that I don't fuck with nobody. I be quiet, but you out here telling stories one-sided. I ain't perfect and I try to fix the shit that ain't working, but it's 2020. I ain't finna argue about twerking. Since you wanna test them waters, might as well jump in with both feet. If you leave me and you see me, better act like you don't know me. If you think your shit get better with another bitch, go get her. When you realize she ain't got you like I got you, I'd rather be a B-I-T-C-H, cause that's what you gon' call me when I'm trippin' anyway. You know you can't control me, baby. You need a real one in your life. The bitches ain't gon' give it to you, right? I'd rather be a B-I-T-C-H, cause that's what you gon' call me when I'm trippin' anyway. You know you can't control me, baby. You need a real one in your life. The bitches ain't gon' give it to you, right? I'd rather be a B-I-T-C-H, cause that's what you gon' call me when I'm trippin' anyway. You know you can't control me, baby. You need a real one in your life. The bitches ain't gon' give it to you, right? I'd rather be a B-I-T-C-H.
Staring at the candle, feel the pain on me, nigga, it don't matter. Get my currencies changed, got my bands up. I'm a top coon, that's why they hate me. So they throw the sheets, some I'm going crazy. Got ballistics on my feet, they can't take me. I ain't gonna be the 6 to unlike 80. I been getting so damn geek, I been praying. I
Piping chinchilla sheet wherever I'm staying. Took that Draco on a PJ, ain't playing. Ain't going no, streets dangerous. Ain't got activists, so fuck it, I had to read it. I sent hitters from everywhere, they had to did it. They know my nigga, they banging the same close spaghetti.
Anyway, my crew. Hey, shout.
Cut that shit up, Quay.
Earthquake, go up on the beat. Earthquake, go up on the motherfucking beat. Yeah.
Yeah. Time been hard, but the nigga still getting it. Yeah, rich niggas. Rich motherfucker. When you wake up before you brush your teeth, you grab your scrap, nigga. Only time you get down on your knees, show a crowd, nigga. Fuck what you heard, God blessing all the trout niggas. God blessing all the trout niggas. When you wake up before you brush your teeth, you grab your scrap, nigga. Only time you get down on your knees, show a crowd, nigga. Fuck what you heard, God blessing all the trout niggas. God blessing all the trout niggas. Weighed 1,008 grams on the square. I got a lowercase T across my chest. Your crack house doing numbers, then you bless. You move your mama to a crib from the jets. It's so much alcohol and kush on my brother. Praying 5 times a day to catch a plug. A few bean pies stashed in the truck. Shoot dice out there and sell dust. You loaded up, they talking shit, you gon' bust. Told yourself 1,000,000 times, you don't give a fuck. Sold over 1,000,000 dimes hanging in the cut. Sold over 1,000,000 dimes, don't give a fuck. What? When you wake up before you brush your teeth, you grab your scrap, nigga. Only time you get down on your knees, show a crowd, nigga. Fuck what you heard, God blessing all the trout niggas. God blessing all the trout niggas. When you wake up before you brush your teeth, you grab your scrap, nigga. Only time you get down on your knees, show a crowd, nigga. Fuck what you heard, God blessing all the trout niggas. God blessing all the trout niggas. I thought Lala wake up with that Glockocato. Stash the dope inside the window, bagel indicator. You got your work, you posted up in the hood bodega. Little more than low, none of y'all before we brush your teeth. Gotta roll the backwood up while I count the cheese. We on the turf, getting active on the back street. I'm thinking activists, the only thing relax me. I'm on the drug every single day, I pop a seal. We talk that lingo around here, we try and work a deal. You pull around here, that's how you hear the Dixie Hill. You hit on that, I go on, got me see a trap out. Gotta cock it back, gotta hear the shit without. When you wake up before you brush your teeth, you grab your scrap, nigga. Only time you get down on your knees, show a crowd, nigga. Fuck what you heard, God blessing all the trout niggas. God blessing all the trout niggas. When you wake up before you brush your teeth, you grab your scrap, nigga. Only time you get down on your knees, show a crowd, nigga. Fuck what you heard, God blessing all the trout niggas. God blessing all the trout niggas. Rolling up, they talking shit, you gon' bust. Told yourself 1,000,000 times, you don't give a fuck. Sold over 1,000,000 dimes hanging in the cut. Sold over 1,000,000 dimes, I don't give a fuck. What? Trout niggas.
Sleep is the superpower that charges everything people do. It makes us friendlier, faster, and smarter. Imagine how much better the world would be if we all slept like a baby. The Dream Team at Casper spends their waking hours studying the magic and science of sleep, creating the most innovative sleep products that no one dreamed possible. Ready for a life well slept? Go to Casper.com, your one-stop shop for all things sleep.
Zone 6.
Smart nigga though.
I got money that I saved and I'm back on road. Get my jewelry out the safe, cause I'm back on road. Yeah. I still do these hoes the same when I'm back on road. If you wasn't there for me when I was all alone, then bitch don't expect no love.
I'm just a East Atlanta nigga with a body on his belt. I done had a million beats, but I ain't never.
Yeah, you old pussy ass, cake ass, punk ass, trick ass, suck ass, fuck ass, dick in the boot ass, KY jelly packing ass. Nigga, you better get your bitch ass up off the street, nigga. You got 5 seconds to get your hating ass up out here, cause there's some trill ass niggas in this motherfucker.
Yeah, nigga, y'all know the motherfucking scope. Y'all non-snarlers, non-smokers, non-sippers. Get the fuck up out of here, bitch.
Nigga, some sipping ass, pouring up ass, smoking ass, getting
I don't trust nobody, not my lovers, not my friends. I don't make no promises, cause I know just how they'll end. I don't trust nobody, I don't need nobody else. And as messed up as it sounds, I don't even trust myself.
If you out there in the streets and you been looking for me, when you find me, tell me I said I've been looking for me. I've been looking for some love, but it ain't looking for me. That's why she bite her tongue when she tell me that pussy for me. I've been looking at the cross and it just look like a T. 2 fingers, I keep them crossed, I can't be looking for peace. I've been looking at the stars and they don't glisten for me. I've been looking in the mirror, he don't listen to me.
If I die before I wake, pray the Lord my soul to take. I lost count of my mistakes, at least I learned along the way. And I don't trust nobody, not my lovers, not my friends. I don't make no promises, cause I know just how they'll end. And I don't trust nobody, I don't need nobody else. And as messed up as it sounds, I don't even trust myself.
If you out there in the streets and you been looking for me, you gon' find a bunch of motherfuckers looking like me. I ain't never looking back because the light always green. Safe to say I lost my way, but I never lost the lead. Safe to say I lost the brakes, but I never lost the speed. Wakey wake, I lost some sleep, but I never lost the dream. If you out there at the crossroads looking for me, you gon' find me with my eyes closed looking for grief.
If I die before I wake, pray the Lord my soul to take. I lost count of my mistakes, at least I learned along the way. I don't trust nobody, not my lovers, not my friends. I don't make no promises, cause I know just how they'll end. I don't trust nobody, I don't need nobody else. And as messed up as it sounds, I don't even trust myself.
If you out there in the streets and you been looking for me, when you find me, tell me I said I've been looking for me.
Where you get them from? Detroit, that machine gun, spray boy, and it's gonna hit some. New coupe, been whipping them. New boots, where you get them done? Payroll, might put you on the table and spread you out like some yayo. I'm not no bitch, you don't know shit. You just want on my money. I was hopeless, now focus. Where the fuck is the party? And now hold this. Oh shit, that's it. So sick, no shit. Damn, I'm getting too fucking old for this.
But still is explosive with just load the clip. 2 pistols on hip, both are ripped. I hold them at shoulder width. Took a stab in the dark and broke the tip of my knife off, but your throat is slit. Cause I'm cutthroat to the utmost with it, the ultimate. I just let the poker chips fall what they were supposed to fit. Now those days are over. Scrappy changing sofas, trying to save it Kroger. So why would I give a fuck about that? Having Trader Joe for how about that? I'm paid as Oprah. Think I may have broke the scale cause the wait is over. But wait, hold up, cause they say I almost
lost it. I had to reach back and lock it. Yeah, you almost got me.
getting green, Incredible Hulk. Cause I usually get it in bulk, but I still will stomp your head to a pulp. You want smoke, got the decal like method man. So get ready to die from secondhand. Get a whiff of the doctor's medicine like sedatives. You get popped, Excedrin, cause you can get it like over the counter. Like I just left the damn concession stand. A mic in my hands, a weapon, I put that on everything like ranch. I'll never land, I'm too fly, I don't plan to ever Cinderella man. What I am is better than every single one of you, whether separate or all of you band together. And I put the game on the pill. Now my shady babies are all stillborns, meaning abortions that live cause they were stillborn. I can heal them with nails born. You about to experience euphoria. True warrior, got the plug like True Goya. Give me the cue like I'm schoolboy, and I treat the beat like a pit bull with you to with true joy and destroy it. Cause boy, I almost lost it. I had to reach back and lock it. Yeah, you almost got me. I had to reach back and lock it. Yeah, you almost, but I got it. You almost, I got it.
I caught me a coupe and I hop in it. He claiming the game, but he not in it. The Birkin back came with the fine. He told you a rap with a line. He got some new jewels, he flexing his ice. He praying to God he don't.
But, you know, beyond whether it violated an order or not, are employees safe?
You know, I think it depends on who you speak to. The company has clearly done a lot to improve safety at the plant. We've seen photographs and have heard from employees that, you know, everyone's temperature is being taken, that capacity on the corporate shuttle buses is less than it used to be. Everyone had to watch a video about how to be safe before they went back to work. But other workers have told us that they're still very concerned about safety on the production line. You know, when you're in a factory, you're in fairly close quarters. You're often, you know, there's often 4 people working on a car at once. You've got someone to your left, someone to your right, and someone across to you. There's not really a way to put plexiglass barriers on an assembly line. So depending on who you speak to, I mean, it's hard to know who's safe and who's not. I mean, there are no known confirmed cases of COVID-19 at the plant so far, but some workers are very worried about being back at the plant, and others are just super happy to be back at work because they really need the income.
Right, exactly. It's such a difficult environment. Dana, what's happening to orders and to deliveries right now?
You know, that has largely continued unabated throughout the pandemic, in part because, you know, you can order a Tesla online, and Tesla can deliver a vehicle to your home for you. And they had been sort of doing that throughout, you know, throughout March. But I think the issue is that, you know, when you can't make cars, you don't really have much inventory to choose from. So getting production up and running was really Musk's top priority. Deliveries can't continue if you don't have any cars to deliver.
Right, exactly. Dana, remember after the great financial crisis, one of the tropes was that, you know, richer people were disinclined to spend because, you know, whatever about not wanting to part with the money that was in less supply, it was almost more about conspicuous consumption and how that was, you know, not advised during those days. Is that going to happen with Tesla?
You know, it's hard to say. I think that the drama and the standoff with Alameda County has certainly hurt Musk's reputation among California consumers who, by and large, have been following the health orders. So there may be a little bit of a brand tarnish to that. But, you know, I think the other question that people are going to have is, coming out of this pandemic, whenever that happens, are people going to feel safe taking public transportation? Are they going to think about how quiet things have been without, you know, internal combustion engine noise, and how clean the air has been, and maybe switch to electric because they'd like to see things that way? But yeah, I mean, Tesla's cars are still relatively expensive, and a lot of people's financial conditions have changed dramatically in the past couple of months.
Did anything ever happen, Dana, to Elon Musk regarding those tweets where he suggested, or said outright actually, that the stock price was that it was overvalued, and then we saw that massive drop? You know, did he get into any kind of trouble with the SEC, or what's the situation with his SEC dealings?
There has not been any kind of fallout from the SEC that we're aware of. Sometimes the SEC will investigate a company without sort of disclosing it, and then you don't really find out until the investigation is completed. But we're not aware of the SEC actively investigating Tesla at this time.
All right, Dana, love your updates on Tesla. As you can see, the stock there up almost 250% in the last 12 months. That is Dana Hull, our Tesla reporter. Let's check in now on the Bloomberg First Word News. Here's Mark Crumpton.
Vonnie, thank you very much. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell pushed back against the idea of deploying negative interest rates, but he did not rule them out for the future. In a Q&A following the speech, Chairman Powell said the evidence on negative rates is mixed. His speech highlighted the risks of lasting economic harm from the coronavirus outbreak. U.S. inflation at the wholesale level fell last month for the most since 2015. The Producer Price Index was down 1.2% from April a year ago. That reflected falling energy prices and a drop in demand caused by the coronavirus outbreak. The UK will start taking small steps today to come out of the coronavirus lockdown. Britons will be able to spend unlimited time outdoors. The real estate market has reopened, and people who can't work from home are being encouraged to go to their jobs. Still, all the signs are that the British government is digging in for the long haul. Germany is unveiling plans to begin reopening its borders. Chancellor Angela Merkel's government hopes to return to normal operations at its land boundaries in mid-June, as long as the spread of the coronavirus remains under control. Air travel will remain restricted. Germany's huge economy and its location bordering 9 European countries gives the country a crucial role in reviving travel in the region. Global news 24 hours a day, on air and on Quick Take by Bloomberg, powered by more than 2,700 journalists and analysts in over 120 countries. I'm Mark Crumpton. This is Bloomberg. Vonnie?
Mark, thank you, Mark Crumpton there. We've had the settlement in Europe. Let's check where indices have settled. It's not a pretty picture, but then what we expect it to be after all of that data this morning and this row brewing with the European ECJ and the Constitutional Court and Angela Merkel and Christine Lagarde. It's all a little bit of a witch's brew. The DAX down 2.5%, the CAC 40 down 2.9%, the FTSE 100 down 1.5%. One of the bright spots today, UK home builders, this after there was a blueprint for reopening the economy that included getting home builders and realtors and so forth back to work. This is Bloomberg.
Yet another day of risk.
Welcome back to Bloomberg Markets. This is the European Close. I'm Vonnie Quinn here in New York. Now to a Bloomberg exclusive. Pizza, apparently a $46 billion market in the United States. I don't know if you know that. KKR numbers, of course. It's looking to capture a slice of that market. Joining us now is Bloomberg's Shonali Basak, along with Jake Heller, the co-head of KKR's Next Generation Technology Growth Unit. Shonali, take it away.
Thank you so much, Vonnie, and thank you, Jake, for joining us. I know it's been less than a year, really, since you've joined KKR, raised $2 billion, more than $2 billion at the beginning of this year. This is your second investment from that fund. Interesting about Slice is that you announced this deal last night, just hours after Bloomberg reported that Uber was looking to buy Grubhub. How can Slice, which works with 12,000 pizzerias across the nation, how can that compete with something of the scale of Grubhub?
Sure, and thanks so much for having me. So this was actually the fifth investment out of our second fund at NGT. And we are hyper-focused on businesses that we believe can be category defining. And I think our vision as it pertains to the Ubers and the Grubhubs of the world is that Slice is focused on the independent pizzeria first. And they believe there's an opportunity to provide real value and help those independent pizzerias compete in a digital world for a digital consumer against the big pizza franchises and the horizontal food aggregators. It starts by providing value to them, and it ultimately does it by delivering at a significantly lower cost.
Right, but as an upstart, what kind of resources may it need to compete with the likes of a Grubhub in this day and age, especially as Grubhub and DoorDash have so much of the delivery market?
Sure. So first and foremost, this is the pizza industry is a highly fragmented market. So there's over 75,000 locations in the U.S. today, and over 50,000 are independently owned. A significant percentage of that are outside of major, dense metropolitan areas. And what Slice does better than anyone is provide value to the independent pizzeria and then charge them literally a fraction of what Uber would to provide their product. And so I think it starts with a better value, a better solution, and ultimately does it at a significantly lower price.
Jake, I suppose I'm still struggling to figure out why another delivery company is needed. Most independent pizzerias have their own delivery people. They won't have to pay, up to 30%, I'm not sure what Slice charges, but to an independent delivery company, right? And what are you getting out of it? I mean, what kind of return on investment are you looking for out of Slice?
No, that's exactly right. Delivery has always been part of the core value proposition for independent pizzerias. Think your local hometown pizza shop. But what they don't have is the digital resources to compete. And so what Slice has done is created a end-to-end technology platform that's vertically specific for pizzeria. It comes from a foundation, Ilir Sela, who has 34 members who have worked in and operated pizza stores. And it allows them to be online. It allows them to do the things they can't do on a daily basis. Manage a website, build a website, optimize SEO, take payments, attract new consumers and existing consumers through their application. Which has been growing, tremendously over the last several years. So we think there's an opportunity to create a vertically specific app and a vertically specific solution to this group of small business owners in a way that Grubhub and others just aren't focused on.
Jake, you must be absolutely chomping at the bit because valuations have changed dramatically over the last few weeks. Where are the opportunities now to pick up, basically what might be distressed kind of investments in Silicon Valley right now? And what is the future?
Sure. So we've got a slightly different focus at NGT. And in our KKR Growth Fund, we're looking for category-defining, category-leading assets that have great management teams. We're looking past this dislocation for long-term sustainable companies. So rather than sort of discount or bargain basement shop, we're truly in our fund looking for great companies, and we're going to continue to do so. And we believe, although this specific pandemic has been an extraordinary tailwind for Slice, we believe it's situated for real long-term differentiation.
Speaking of this being a tailwind for Slice in this environment, is the COVID crisis creating opportunities and investments you may have not otherwise seen? Are you changing your investment thesis in any fashion because of what's happening right now?
No, we're not changing our investment thesis at all. Although, again, we closed 2 deals in the last 2 weeks, both of which we've been establishing a relationship with and we'd entered into conversations with before COVID hit. But both the pandemic is highlighting the need for both. So never before has there been a greater need to support our small businesses and provide them tools and solutions to continue to perform. Slice is doing exactly that, and we invested in another business called 09 Solutions, which is an end-to-end demand planning and supply chain business. And as we all know, this pandemic has revealed a number of things, one of which is the dysfunction of our global supply chain, and we believe 09 Solutions is truly the next generation provider in this space. So again, we're looking for, this was a fund that we closed in January. We've got a very long-term perspective with just under $2 billion of dry powder. Our focus is to find, invest in, and support great teams and long-term winners.
So with $2 billion in dry powder left, how can we see that being put to work? Is Slice a typical investment for you, or are there specific criteria you're looking for here as you're putting that money to work?
No, Slice is a great example of exactly what we're looking for. We spend most of our time in software, internet, information services businesses. So you'll see us, looking for high-growth businesses with great management teams. If and when we can, we'd love to invest in these businesses outside of broad banker-led processes because we've spent years developing a relationship. And I think the relationships that we've been developing, our proactive origination efforts to find these great companies over the last 5 to 6 years will hopefully benefit us in this period of dislocation and distance. We're going to be, working hard to support the best names that we've met, the best management teams we've gotten to know over the last few years, and I think you can expect a lot more of that. But we're going to be sticking to our guns. We're going to be looking for great category-defining businesses where specifically KKR can help. We think we've got an extremely differentiated global platform with a tremendous amount of resources that have been built over the last 44 years, and we want to bring that to the best growth companies in technology.
Great, Jake, thank you. That is good stuff, and hopefully one more reason for all of those independent pizza makers
do on the basis of political party, for instance. But once the vote begins, that vote by ballot is the electors.
So the elector can decide, I am going to vote, I'm going to flip a coin, and however it comes out, that's how I'm going to vote.
Yes, Your Honor. That's the same discretion that U.S. senators have, representatives have, congressional electors have. These too are elected officials, and they have that same discretion.
Well, that sounds pretty limitless to me. Let's say that an elector has a contract. The different parties insist that electors sign a contract that you will vote, if we win the popular vote, you will vote for our party's candidate. And if you don't, there'll be liquidated damages of $1,000. An elector is selected and breaks that contract, votes for the other individual, even though that individual didn't win the popular vote. Can that contractual commitment be enforced by the state?
Not legally, no, Your Honor. And that shouldn't be surprising because that's the same prohibition that applies to congressional electors who cannot sell their votes, even though as a condition of participating in a primary, and we cite these cases extensively in our reply briefs, there you can force regular voters to take pledges and oaths to support a party. You just can't cross that line and enforce them.
Thank you, counsel. Justice Thomas?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chief Justice. Counsel, you mentioned that senators are free to vote, or members of the House of Representatives, but there's some degree of accountability for them when they vote a particular way. What's the accountability here for an elector who strays from what is expected?
There are several forms of accountability, Justice Thomas. The first, of course, is the selection process, because they are party people, and in all 50 states, they're selected by the political parties. From there, after the vote, they can be kicked out of the political party. They cannot win an election. They can have negative political consequences. And that's the exact same thing with senators, right? Senators do have accountability, but that accountability comes 6 years later. So if a U.S. Senator, Justice Thomas, promises to support only low taxes, and then at every opportunity raises taxes, their only accountability is 6 years later. That's the nature of political discretion, and that's the discretion electors have here.
But there's also accountability in chamber within the Senate. There's accountability as far as removal from office. But you're saying that with an elector that those other forms of accountability are not available.
They are, Your Honor. There is absolutely party discretion, party meetings, just like any other representative body. And just to quibble slightly, Justice Thomas, with what you said in terms of removal of a U.S. Senator, there's no precedent that we have found of a U.S. Senator being removed, perhaps even by an appointing governor in the case of a vacancy, on the basis of a vote. Certainly some sort of criminal misconduct, sure, but not on the basis of a vote. And that's really the same analogy here.
But let's say you mentioned with respect to the state that the state could not, that after someone dies, their system is so rigid that you can't make changes because of the death of the candidate. But I think that on your side, you, as the Chief Justice alluded to, you have a similar problem because the elector who had promised to vote for the winning candidate could suddenly say, I'm going to vote for Frodo Baggins, and I really like Frodo Baggins. And you're saying under your system, you can't do anything about that.
Your Honor, I think there is something to be done, because that would be the vote for a non-person. No matter how big a fan many people are of Frodo Baggins. That said, I do think the important point is that the framers hashed out these competing concerns. They hashed it out in Philadelphia in 1787. They understood the stakes, and they said among these competing hypotheticals, electors are best placed to make the ultimate selection. That hasn't changed, Justice Thomas.
Thank you.
Thank you, counsel. Justice Ginsburg?
I don't understand your point about rigidity, because as I understand the state's position is, the states have a choice. They can say electors have an independent vote, or they can say the electors must follow the party's orders. So the states are not, the states are being given leeway to do it one way or the other way. So why do you say it's rigid when it seems to me it could be described as supple, because the states can have it either way?
Justice Ginsburg, the states do have great flexibility, as you mentioned, in choosing the mode and method of appointment. But the laws that they've written here, the laws that were enforced against my client, Mike Baca, are very rigid. They're rigid in the sense that there are no exceptions once passed. And that rigidity conflicts with the supposition that every single Congress that has looked at the issue of presidential selection has assumed exists explicitly in 1933 when the Congress drafting the 20th Amendment. That's a key oversight of these laws, but even down to the more modern era when Congress was debating the 24th Amendment, for instance, prohibiting poll taxes, and noted that it needed to bar poll taxes for elections for presidential electors because they still exist in our system. So that's the rigidity I'm talking about, Justice Ginsburg.
And how do you answer the standing question that you have no economic, BACA has no economic injuries or has no standing to complain?
There is standing, Justice Ginsburg. I will say there is a very small economic injury. We've asked for $1 in nominal damages. Mr. Baca gave up an additional $5 of salary. I'd just like to correct the record where Attorney General Weiser said there's no salary. Colorado Statute 1-4-305 provides electors with $5. That's at Pet App 10. But the stakes financially are small, but the stakes constitutionally and personally for Mr. Baca are large, and they're sufficient to confer standing.
Thank you.
Justice Breyer?
Thank you. To go back to the technical point, you brought a suit under 1983 and against a state, and it's fairly clear in the case law that you can't sue a state under 1983. What are we supposed to do about that?
Your Honor, I'll echo what Attorney General Weiser said, which is that it's, and indeed I'll cite the court's opinion just last week in the Sinan-Smith case, when the court said that the court's job is to resolve disputes as framed by the parties. And so the only way that the court should look at that issue is if it's jurisdictional. And as Attorney General Weiser said, it's not. I'll give you two cites.
The problem that I see with view is that then any two people, plaintiff and defendant, who would like an issue decided by us simply have to waive enough matters so that it has to come before us because it's not jurisdictional. They interpret the statutes differently. They do whatever they have to do. What are we supposed to do about that?
Your Honor, I don't think this case implements something like that because this case is one that courts surely could hear. It was initially brought individually against the Secretary of State through a compromise that involved the plaintiffs giving up a right to attorney's fees and other accommodations. It was somewhat reframed in order to be brought against the Department of State. And as the 10th Circuit said, I'll just point the court to Pet App 53-70 with a really...
But I'll look at that. One other question you didn't mention in terms of accountability, what I take it, why didn't you, is that Congress doesn't have to count a vote of a faithless elector. For at least 125 years, there were faithless electors from time to time. And Congress usually counted them, and sometimes they didn't. With Horace Greeley, for example, they didn't. So is that not a power that the Congress has to make certain that the faithless elector does not cause trouble?
Justice Breyer...
What's your view about that? What's your actual view about it? You didn't mention it, so you don't think it is, probably.
No, I think, Justice Breyer, to be clear, that the Greeley example supports our side. The Greeley votes that were rejected were actually faithful.
I'm interested in why you don't consider this as significant. I would like your true answer to that.
Your Honor, just so I understand, the Greeley votes, the three that were rejected by Congress, were actually faithful. They were electors that were pledged to Greeley.
Right. But I mean, doesn't Congress's power, there's 3 U.S.C. Section 15, there's the Constitution saying count it. Does that act as a significant check on the faithless elector, or does it not?
It can, Your Honor. The courts and Congress have never interpreted the Electoral Count Act and what it means for a vote to be regularly given. Congress, I do think, possibly has the power to reject a faithless vote under certain circumstances, but we know it has never done so. Those Greeley votes that were rejected were faithful votes for Greeley, who is deceased, and the 63 votes of Greeley electors who voted for other people, who were faithless in some sense, those were all counted.
Thank you,
counsel. Justice Alito?
We have to interpret the Constitution to mean what it means, regardless of the consequences. But I am interested in, at least in understanding what the consequences of your position would be. And we are told by experts on elections that the consequences would be potentially chaotic. I'm thinking in particular of Professor Bennett's brief, and there's been other writing by experts on elections that acceptance of your position would mean that after an election where the apparent outcome based on the popular vote is a small margin of victory for one candidate, there would be concerted campaigns to change that result by influencing a few electors, and that could be achieved by influencing just a few electors. That's just one of the consequences. There's the fact that in most states the electors are not even listed on the ballots, and therefore the voters have no way of trying to ensure that the electors who were chosen are electors who really will honor the wishes of the voters. So do you really deny that this is where your argument would lead?
We do deny it, Justice Alito. And here I think past is prologue. Attorney General Weiser, in a response to a prior question on the same issue, noted that there had been campaigns already to affect electors. He mentioned 1876, the famously contested election of 1876. But in fact, Robert Alexander of Colorado,
UNFI basically is shoring up. So let's just take a minute to look at this. So 1 moment.
2016, in 2000, and beyond, that some 20% of electors have contemplated switching their votes, and that 100% have been contacted. And
you deny that there's a greater chance of this happening? And didn't Mr. Lessig support such an effort in 2016?
Your Honor, Mr. Lessig has been representing these electors from the beginning in 2016. So
that wasn't my question. Didn't he advocate that some electors change their votes for the purpose of changing the outcome of the 2016 election?
Your Honor, I believe that he supported the legal discretion that electors have that we're here today arguing for. And the reason is, A, that that's in the Constitution, but B, that going back to the chaos point, the center has always held. The center has always held, we know that 18 states today, Justice Alito, have no such laws. And the states are not about to say that there's some constitutional requirement that they implement them. In fact, they say the reverse. They say it's a feature and not a bug, that there is federalism
here. One more question, if I possibly can. Do the states have any power to remove electors? I can't think of any government office holder who cannot be removed from office.
Your Honor, yes, they do have some power to remove elector, just not a removal power that interferes with the core function of voting by ballot.
But what is the limit of their power to remove?
The limit of the power to remove is, again, that interference with the core function. So if an elector does not show up to vote, the states have represented that it's our view that's impossible to remove and replace that elector. That's not true. That becomes a vacancy. The Electoral Count Act permits it to be filled. History shows that it can and will be filled.
Can an elector be removed for bribery, absent conviction by proof beyond a reasonable doubt before the time when the electors meet to vote?
No, we don't think so, Your Honor, and that's consistent with the treatment of every other elected official. Senators and representatives cannot be removed for a supposition of bribery, a mere whisper of it. They have to be removed for proof of it, and the same thing would be true here.
A member of Congress could not be removed from office by a 2/3 vote without a criminal conviction?
The Congress certainly has power to remove, but it must go through a full process. I took Your Honor to be asking about the sort of instantaneous, removal. One official, one single state official, is going to make a decision to kick someone out based on rumor. That would be inappropriate for any sort of elected official, and it's inappropriate for electors.
Thank you, counsel. Justice Kagan.
Mr. Harrow, suppose that I read the Constitution and I find that it just doesn't say anything about this subject. That there is some hints here and there are some hints going the other way, and mostly I just read it and I say the Constitution is silent. What should I then do and why?
Justice Kagan, in that case, I think the original understanding would control. Again, we think there is clear language in the Constitution, and I want to return to that. But the original understanding would control because it is so, and indeed Colorado doesn't even necessarily challenge it, that the original expectation and the meaning of the word.
Sorry, do you mean the original understanding like prior to ratification? Because I would think that pretty quickly it flipped, even if you're right. So that from the first, there were these pledges, and there have never been a substantial number of faithless electors. So I would think that the history, both at the time and since, would cut against you, no?
No, Justice Kagan, because our quibble is not with the pledges, and our invocation of history is not with the pledges or the idea of party control and of having two major parties in our system. The idea is with enforcement of the vote. The idea is with what occurred here, removing an elector who actually votes. Mr. Baca actually presented a vote and attempted to vote and place it in the ballot box, and that was rejected. That is novel, Justice Kagan. That has only happened in 2016, despite the party control of the selection process.
What would you think if I said that if I think that there's silence, the best thing to do is leave it to the states, to not impose any constitutional requirement on them?
Your Honor, I would push against because I don't think there's silence, right? Especially here in this
I
case.
know, but that's the hypothetical. I just, if I just think that there's not enough, in the same way that Ray thought that there was not enough to provide an answer to the question, and there are all these states doing what Colorado is doing, why not just leave it to them?
Because, Your Honor, when Justice Kagan, when you said there are all these states doing what Colorado is doing, it has actually never been the case that a state has done what Colorado is doing. That is 220 years of unbroken history. I think that speaks very loudly if Your Honor is concerned about how to interpret that silence. And so,
go ahead, please.
No, Your Honor. If you're ready to move on, that's fine. I was going to continue making another point.
No, that was directed to Justice Kagan.
No, I'm done. Thank you.
Okay. Justice Gorsuch?
Counsel, suppose Mr. Baca had asked Congress to count his vote, and Congress decided to do so. Would we be here?
Yes, you would, Your Honor. There is no mechanism for Mr. Baca to ask Congress to count his vote under the Electoral Count Act that the state has pointed to any mechanism other than perhaps making a phone call to a senator. The same.
I believe you're fighting my hypothetical. Let's suppose he had asked Congress, and let's suppose Congress had agreed to count his vote. That's my hypothetical. Would we be here?
If Congress had counted his vote instead of the vote of the replacement elector, Celeste Landry, then no, perhaps not, because in that he wouldn't have lost the office. I will say he didn't get a chance to vote for vice president either. So assuming on Your Honor's hypothetical that he had his ballot fully cast, then no, we probably wouldn't be here.
Okay. He didn't try to ask Congress to cast his vote, did he?
He did not, Justice Gorsuch. There's no mechanism for it, and the state hasn't pointed to one.
Okay. And the damages he seeks are, is it $6? Is that right?
Justice Gorsuch, it's even less. It's $1 in nominal damages.
$1. So it's a $1 nominal damages. And why should we exercise our discretion to hear this case when the nominal damages are $1? He didn't seek Congress to count his vote, though, as you point out, it's unclear whether there's a mechanism to do so. And we have a cause of action that doesn't exist that we are asked to overlook because of a stipulation by the parties. Why isn't that a sort of manufactured litigation that this court should decline should bother with using its discretion whether to decide a case?
Justice Gorsuch, because once there is jurisdiction, and again, I'll just emphasize that the question of whether
I'm accepting there's jurisdiction, counsel, but this court has discretion over what to entertain. And it also has some authority to emphasize the importance of the adversarial process and its proper uses.
It does, Justice Gorsuch, and I think the arguments today in the brief show this is highly adversarial on the standing and on the merits. And the discretion here is because there was a conflict in the lower courts on an important issue, and the unique chance that this court has to decide this issue of presidential selection outside the very contested context of an actively fought presidential election. So to the extent Your Honor is talking about discretion and not jurisdiction, I think it's well exercised here. And again, Colorado doesn't contest that.
Thank you.
Justice Kavanaugh?
Thank you, Chief Justice, and good afternoon, Mr. Harrow. How, if at all, should the quick growth of political parties affect our analysis of this case, including how the 12th Amendment interacts with Article 2?
Justice Kavanaugh, the political parties provide the context for nominating electors and the appointment of electors. But the fact that there are political parties now and were emerging political parties when the 12th Amendment was passed in 1803 doesn't affect that the word elector remains in the Constitution, and that electors are people who vote, and all of those words and all of those structural principles mean that they can vote with discretion.
Then Justice Kagan noted a question about what to do if the text is silent. And we've talked about various things that could fill the gap there, including the state's authority. Another, of course, under our case law is historical practice, under cases like Noel Canning and Dames and Moore and many others, that we look to historical practice as a gloss on the text. What is your strongest point on why the historical practice favors you rather than favoring the other side?
Justice Kavanaugh, in addition to the historical practices that we've already discussed, including in the exchange with Justice Kagan, I'll also point the court to the history of constitutional amendments that have been introduced to try and abolish the office of elector, precisely to eliminate the elector discretion that everyone who was introducing the amendment assumed exists. As we point out in our brief, this starts in 1801 with no less than Thomas Jefferson saying, hey, maybe we should get rid of the office of elector. They can only cause trouble. And that continues in the 19th and 20th century. For 20 years, such amendments were introduced by Thomas Hart Benton in essentially every single Congress. And those amendments were not meaningful. And the people who thought that we ought to eliminate elector discretion were not writing on a blank slate.